Yes, I am ready to go live. All right, so obviously you can see on the screen, I got a big smile on my face, man. So and the reason why I say that is because I've really been hammering on the 3S line, right? I almost wish like somehow they would expand this 4S line. So obviously, a lot of people have been waiting for this RC to kind of come back. Been checking like the past couple of years, and the only thing that it said was that it was out of stock, and I think it was back in either 19 or 18 or whatever. But there was talk about it could have been 2017. I don't even know. It was a long time ago. But the whole thing was that everybody saw that this line just kind of like disappeared, and everything was basically whatever was in stock on hand was the only thing that you could get. Now going through some of the stuff that I've been looking at on this since the drop. I had gone on yesterday, because Arrma does that thing, or should I say Horizon Hobby, whoever it is, but our Arrma does that thing where they give you like that little teaser, and if you focus in on the teaser, sometimes you can get some information. So people were questioning, what did the 4 mean? And obviously, I did the finger thing, and I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I'm a 4S line kind of guy. And it seemed to be like an obviousness because back then, that 2017 through 2019, whenever it was and it happened, there was that talk through Arrma where I think it might have been 2019, where there was going to be some refreshing of vehicles, and obviously everybody was like, well, what's going on with this 4S line? We want it back. And I've got to say something for myself. I do not have one of these 4S line of vehicles, and having the 3S line, it there's a comment that I screenshotted that's going to be a part of a video that I'm going to be doing soon. And the best part about that comment was the individual said something about, how did I screenshot that? I screenshot it on my phone. This comment is going to be on here. This comment is going to be on here. Mike, nice guy. All right, so where's the comment here? How did I I think I did like a screenshot. I just got to find it. Also, you know what was cool? So the last time I messed around with StreamYard, obviously you can see, check this out. Obviously you can see that the StreamYard is back up and running. There's a slight little issue for me though, because of the way I work, like where my camera is placed and like how things are like going. Yeah, I'm kind of, see how like now at least we can scroll and do stuff. With last time I tried to do it and it was like a total waste. But I did that screenshot. I did that screenshot of that right there, right? But the screenshot comment that I'm looking for is right here, I think. No, that's not it. Where the heck did I? Dang. I don't know what happened to the screenshot. Well, either way, there's a screenshot somewhere. Anyways, I don't know. I'm going to jump into chat real quick and just see what's going on with everybody. But the way that I have this done, okay, so I can actually see chat. So, who do we get? Now watch. I guarantee if I dump down on this, it looks as though, Earl, your question right there, it looks as though from what I've seen, some of the stuff has changed, which is a good thing. But obviously, we'll go through this. let's see. Yeah. How do I get into here? Okay. So I'm just going to go through the couple of things here, and it's just what I figured. I've got to like... What a disaster. It's still a disaster. Because of the way I've got this like set up, in order to move that screen, I have to move another screen. And that's just me not being able to function this StreamYard. Anyway. Yes, 8% bigger. Yes. So, going into this, let's see, what do we got here? We got a couple of different just pictures here. Obviously, it comes in a blue, comes in like a bronze, I think it is. That's showing, obviously, the lineup 3S, 4S, 6S, or seeing it the other way around. And isn't it funny, though, when you think about that, right? So they put the Granite, right? Then they put the new Outcast 4S. And then look at what they put next to it for 6S. Isn't that the Notorious? Like, it's kind of weird. Why didn't they do like the EXB version? Are they like getting rid of the EXB or something? So, all right. I did see somewhere. Yeah, there's that bronze. That bronze is pretty slick. That's a pretty slick color. I definitely do like, I mean, again, going back on colors, the blue is definitely cool. But anyways, so what do we got? We've got the Outcast 4x4 4S Stunt Evolution. So I'm just going to go through some of the pictures here. I think I can play this video without getting hammered. Yeah, so all of these videos right now are available on armarc.com on the, or actually Arrma RC on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to Arrma RC on YouTube, you should just go subscribe, because I'd say 9 times out of 10, they're probably going to be the drop that you see first, or where you see it first is what I'm guessing. So, but this thing is absolutely looking nice. And what I was saying, right, was that whole thing about that 3S line. It's always been that comment or that question when you get the 3S line, and that goes back on that comment that somebody had made. So what they had said was something around, the 3S line is great. It gets you into the hobby. And then they kind of turned, not negative, they just gave the experience of what had happened with that 3S line. They admitted that the 3S line got them into the hobby. And I feel like that's definitely something that's important. Now, the 4S line is going to be that next step up, because what were people doing? Some people were taking, the 3S line and throwing 4S line parts in it. Now, them doing this and making it slightly bigger, I feel is going to be a big step up in, hopefully, from what I'm seeing from the parts here, like even these parts right here, the difference between the V1 and the V2. Now, granted, I don't have these parts in hand, and you could take like a ruler, or you could take like something and at least measure it and get a gist that things are appearing to be stronger. They're appearing to be definitely a little bit longer. That was a question that I was actually talking over with Earl this morning, was, is this thing, I got to slide this over. Is this, I just lost. I slid it over, but then I lost the thing. Where'd it go? I don't know how to do StreamYard still. Here we go. Now I can slide it over. I'm doing like my own picture-in-picture, but talking over with Earl this morning, the question was, what's actually bigger? Are they going to do a reuse of parts, or is this going to be kind of like a refresh to an extent? And my thing was, I was like, okay, well, being only 17%, they could just go ahead and do the chassis and then basically just, that's it. There's your 17%, but it looks like with the arms, because you get a shot of the front and rear arms right there, that those arms are bigger and beefier. I think that's going to be a key thing right there. Bigger and beefier. But then again, here's the other thing too, where it goes into like measurements. So measurements from the old to the new, can some of these parts be transferred onto the other vehicle? Now, looking at these arms, you can also see the gap. The gaps have changed where the pin locations are. So I'm really, really very interested to see other changes. Obviously, you can see shock location changes. That's a change. Said something about, I believe, the shock tower has changed to accommodate for a longer stroke shock. It's probably part of some of these pictures here, but like I said, just jumping on here. We've got extreme bash composite sliders. So I had seen that it's including EXB composite sliders, or at least that's what they're calling it. Steel drive shaft couplings, which I think that's normal in that CVD. Steel, gears throughout, plastic housing. That's to be expected. Some people were hoping that they would get away from the slipper. Now, yeah, I don't know, man. We're going to see. What's going to happen? Like, is this slipper a redesign? Or is it something that's basically taken out of the 3S line and then, just steel stuff thrown on it? Is that going to be a problem? So, wheels down. What's going on, guy? 4S or more, man? Yes. So that's what I was saying, right? So with that 3S line, you know what I'm going to do? If anybody wants to jump in here, I'm going to throw a invite on the screen here. Let's see. Paste. Now remember, if you come in, you got to abide by the rules of the channel. But anyways, I lost the thing again. See, what happens is I've got this thing here. All right, that's what I should do. I should minimize it, slide this back over, slide this into place. Yeah. I've got to figure out a different way to be able to do this. It's like I need like a secondary screen, or have this screen like thrown somewhere else or something. I just can't figure it out. Because I want to see chat, and I can't see chat. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Moving on over. Let's start at page 1 here. So there you go. 17% larger footprint. So overall. So obviously, there's a change in the chassis. There's a change in the arms. The question is there a change in the actual diffs? Like those locations. Like obviously it said that for this particular vehicle, the shock towers are changed to be able to allow for a longer stroke shock, is what I believe I read. And I definitely like the fact that they changed the size. The only reason why is because with that 3S line of vehicles, it was always at what cost? It gets you into the hobby. It gets you out there ripping it for fairly cheap. And like every parts manufacturer, they have to make money. So they're going to make their money in the parts. Now, it's also been with that 3S line, at what point do you finally say that the RC is expired? Now, the video that's going to be dropping today talks about my big rock, and I actually use those words. Now, I've talked about the Granite before. That, at what point do you finally just say, man, there's so much money going into this thing. Everything about this thing has expired. And I think like that's the point right there, that it expired. So Black Sheep RC, what's going on, guy? I'm gonna let you jump in. Hold on. I gotta figure out this StreamYard thing, man. Let me see.
Figure I'd jump on and say hi to everybody this morning.
How do I do this volume thing? There you go, Black Sheep. You're in there, man. What's going on?
How you doing this morning, man?
Good. So what do you think about this 4S line drop?
I'm loving what I see. I have to get me one. I tried to pre-order it, but they wouldn't let me do the payment plan on pre-order.
Right. And you know what, man? That's something that I wish these companies would allow this. I wish they would allow that pre-order to be able to be the payment plan, because not everybody can, just fork out, the money like that. You know what I mean? It's they would get a lot more orders.
I agree, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Earl, what's going on, guy?
Guy, what you up to?
What's going on, Earl?
Checking out this 4S line of Arrma vehicles here.
So do you think some of the issues, it looks like they fixed some of the issues, like the shocks, the shafts.
Right.
Overall,
what I'm liking, and granted, not having the vehicle and not knowing how it responds or acts, I'm definitely liking the fact that it's larger. That, like we were talking about this morning, you were questioning, well, what's really changed? Is this just something that, they did a chassis and then just slapped some old parts back onto it and said, hey guys, guess what? It's a new color, and you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, if you look at the shock towers,
right,
that it looks like the Vendetta chassis to me.
Right.
That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like they took the Vendetta, revised longer chassis,
right,
with the beefier shock towers on it, because the old one didn't have those shock towers on it.
Right.
From what I could tell, because it looked flat on top versus,
I thought
this one that's all curved.
Right. What I was, something that I had seen was the fact that they had said that whatever they did allows for longer stroke shocks. So obviously, if they've changed where the shock location is on the arms because they kicked it out a little bit, that allows for that longer stroke shock.
Yes. And, just like the Vendetta, they still left that hole where the steering is.
Right.
And, your video today, you thought you got a rock in there, which everybody knows about, that rocks jam up in there and then you lose steering one direction.
Right.
I'm hoping that they block that hole some way.
Right.
Because it is a basher and it's going to be in rocks. And that was the biggest problem I had with the Kraton and the 4S Outcast, both of them.
Right. I'm hoping what I'm trying to do is see if I can get there's got to be a chassis shot here somewhere.
I mean, the video of it being itemized Arrmas today showed that that the chassis looked the same.
Right. And like what you're saying, so there you go. So there's the difference between the V1 and V2.
Yes,
so
it's flatter.
The
longer,
V2
wider.
Also looks like it's splayed out.
Yeah, and they did that with the Vendetta too. So they could put the shorter, revised shocks in that.
Are you trying to tell me like I should open my Vendetta and see like?
You should
actually get a look at it.
You should, because I mean, that's something I did. I'll show you the Kraton.
Let me zoom in on you here.
So the Kraton has that little shock tower deal. That's the Kraton. And it's the same thing on the Outcast. I don't know if I'm showing it.
Yeah, no, you are.
So it has that little short, where the other ones, they brought it pretty much, it's like flatter.
Right. Do you have the Vendetta?
The shocks are more straight up.
Do you have the Vendetta on deck?
Yeah, let me grab it. There's always a Vendetta around in my house.
It could be taken more than one way.
Well, I have the infraction.
Right, same thing.
which
Yes,
is the
I
same thing. You see how
Yes.
flat that is?
Yep.
So I think that's what they've done is
Right.
they've done this flatter shock tower to give you
Right.
better shocks.
Yep.
And
It looks as though it's
longer is
taller,
the
though.
longer chassis.
Right. It looks like it's taller, though.
Well, definitely the control arms are going to be different. Control arms are definitely going to be different.
Right.
Bumpers are going to be different. I'm from the looks of it, it doesn't look like the arms are the same. It looked
No,
like the
it definitely does.
turnbuckles were the same.
No.
Even the drive shafts look the same as the old Outcast, though.
Yeah, see, and that's where see, I keep losing that.
But they called it a EXB drive shaft.
Yes. Yeah, they called it the EXB version of that slider drive shaft.
Yes.
So that question is what is EXB? Because throwing EXB at something isn't necessarily a good thing.
Not when it comes to you and me. We had some pretty bad luck with them.
So looking at that, it's obviously it looks like the tower is actually taller too, though.
Yes, most
Between
definitely.
The V1 and the V2.
Yes, it's the top. It's the top half of the same differential case that they always use.
Right.
Which means the motor mount area is going to be probably the same snap-in style. You see how short those shocks looked?
The originals compared to the ones that are there.
Yes.
Original V1 up top, and then they threw in metal shock bodies, and it looks like it's a longer stroke. So
yeah.
But you know what? You know what's funny though? It's almost like deceptive because of where they've got it lined up.
I wish that shock body was threaded all the way down. That would be adjustable like the Vendetta was.
Right. Yeah. But you know what people will do.
Yeah, they're going to change.
People will put threaded shock bodies on it. You know.
Yeah, we'll put some Proline, $200 shocks on it.
Proline. Yeah, you Proline everything.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where am I here? So shocks, towers.
Yep. Now they said something about all metal differentials.
Right.
Which
right, but that was that. But that was original anyway, though, right?
No. I mean, it was a metal like pinion, but the ring was not metal.
Okay. So this is a 1.35 steel ring gear, and it does obviously have the pinion gear as being metal as well, and then a steel spur gear too, which I think that's should be standard anyway.
Yeah. So the 4S they claim metal like that. I ended up going to the hot racing stuff.
Right.
Just because it was plastic.
Right. Now the hot racing, was that also the case? So the actual
yeah. Well, okay. It was the support holder for that.
Right. So the actual case piece.
Yes, that goes inside the plastic case.
Right.
Was literally metal now.
Now you have just about every RC anyway, but your Outcast, you switched over to 6S. Now, was that fairly quick?
It's just like I did with the Vendetta. I mean, the thing's just terribly fast.
Right.
The only issue like I said that I have is that the drive shafts, they tend to flare out.
Right.
The center drive shaft.
Right.
But in long as you don't get traction, everything seems to hold up.
Right.
So
as long as you don't get traction.
Yeah, loose dirt, that kind of stuff. Or speed pulls where you're not pulling the trigger hard.
Now, did you ever have any issues with the wheelie bar on the V1?
No.
Okay. Because they did obviously redesign the wheelie bar too.
I did see that. It looked beefier.
Yeah. Says it's a tougher wing mount, wheelie bar, updated wheelie bar with rubber tires on the wheelie bar.
Yeah, I mean, the bar itself kind of looks the same.
It's like the same exact thing.
It looks like the mount might be different.
Right.
The wing definitely is different.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like the wing support is different.
Yes.
But as you see, the normal leaky shocks.
Well,
I mean, they're
leaking.
They're leaking so bad.
Yeah.
And that's just because it's been sitting on the shelf for almost a year now.
Right. Let's see. More pictures under the hood. Slide right. What is? Oh, you can slide this. Ah, I get it.
That center diff deal looks pretty cool, though.
The what?
The slipper clutch center diff, or center slipper clutch.
Yeah, the slipper. Right.
Yeah, I mean, it looks a lot better than what was in there.
See, I didn't realize you could actually slide this. So that's what it meant by slide it.
Yep. I can't see I can't see the chat. Well, actually, I probably could see the chat. Let me turn on the other phone. YouTube.
So what I'm doing is I'm sliding in between the original, which is on the right-hand side, and then the updated one. Trying to see if there's a difference. It almost looks like...
So Eric is asking, do you think they will honor the price from 2021?
Honor the price. What was... Well, the price right now is $469.99. That's from Arrma's website. So what was the price from 2021?
He says the back ordered price from 2021. So I don't know if it's on Arrma's site or not.
Now, could things have been back ordered? Like ordered? Or when the back order happens, you can't buy it, right?
It just says back order, and Horizon won't take your money or take the purchase until it's available.
Right. That's their way of being able to shut you off.
Eric says it was $399.99.
Yeah, I don't see why they would do that. No.
Gas prices went up.
Right. Everything has gone up, man.
Shipping, everything.
It's insane. All right, so we've got some more pictures here.
Valentine's saying still no center diff.
No. But I mean, to maintain, like what Earl was saying, it looks like they're just using the Vendetta chassis, Vendetta chassis is just a Big Rock chassis. Right?
Yes.
So,
with the revised towers, yes.
Right. But they've showed, and that's what's so confusing. See, what we got to do is I almost got to look at part numbers to see. So I'm really looking for a chassis picture.
Yes, because maybe they came out with a longer chassis. For all we know, you just can't tell by the photos.
Right.
It just said 16% longer.
17%. 17% bigger.
Bigger.
Is I believe what they said.
And it looked like they were putting almost 6S like backflips on it, because it said backflip LPs.
Right.
Which the 4S ones, I don't remember them saying that.
I'm sure you've got some hanging around.
Yeah, they're actually on the, let me grab them. They're on the Max.
17% larger footprint. So it is saying looks like it is just stretched. Got to find out part numbers to see what the difference is. Horizon now shows the V1 version back order price as same as there. There you go. Old and slow, yeah. I think if there was a way to have actually physically ordered it and they took your money, that would be a difference. But if it was something that they were just going to phase out, nah, there's no way.
No, the
Arrma, just
4S.
like every other company, is not in business to lose money. They're in business to make money.
Yeah, it looks like it could be the 4S backflips on there.
Right.
Because they do say D-boots and backflip LPs.
The tough part, too, as I've noticed, is that you've got to be, you almost have to be semi on top of things and screenshot stuff. You know the screenshot deal. It's that thing where things change and part numbers stay the same, but the product itself changes. So it's like you can't necessarily get the old one. You know what I mean? Unlike Traxxas, I guess you can still get the everybody's calling it the V1 Max parts. You can still get those parts, even though they
but like
that truck out.
The V1 X Max stuff you can't get.
Right. Well, but that's I think that's a difference though, because that wasn't
even those bearings that you were having problems with in the rear. Since the new one has the revised big bearing,
right?
That's what you get now.
Yeah.
People, the companies revise their stuff, keep the same part number, and just put it into, that's all you can get now.
Right.
Without telling anybody.
They call that planned obsolescence. Obsolete. I cannot say that word. You know what word I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Well, in automotive, we call that a service bulletin.
Yeah, there you go. So it looks like it has a 2400 kV motor.
Old and Slow was saying he was hoping it had an aluminum chassis with a center diff.
Yeah, I think that's what some people were thinking, but I have to say that having that aluminum chassis probably isn't the best decision for a vehicle like this.
No, and look at the Max. It's on a plastic chassis.
Yeah.
Now the Techno is on a metal, but
that's different. That's Techno.
Yeah, and that's where the price point comes into play.
Right.
Ready to run versus, at 400, what'd you say, $460?
Yeah, 470, yeah.
For $470 versus,
Isn't your Techno like $400 just a kit?
Yeah, but it's a kit with no electronics. You got to spend a couple $100 on electronics.
Right.
So minimum you're going to be $600 into it.
Right. Right. I think they're right. I think they're right on that. And nothing's ever going to go technically down in price. Everything at some point is going to inch up. You might think all of a sudden, you've got something at a cheaper rate or something came down in price, but there's no way that companies can stay in business without inching up, because everybody needs raises. Everything costs more. It's not talking about just the inflation thing. That's just life in general. You know what I mean? The longer you're with a company, the more money you hope to make. You know what I mean? With a company like this, they've got to also follow that pattern in order for them to give raises, to be able to create new products, to be able to do the R&D, all that stuff. Right. It's my favorite radio.
The comments are going so fast. I can't keep up.
I know.
You got 100 people in your live right now.
Nice.
At least that's what my phone says. Oh, 94. Bunch just left.
508 out the door in the States. Saved your taxes, right? You got a coupon, Rogue Factor? Nice. You're okay with the price? Right. I think it's about right.
Addicted to RC is here. CK Hobby Shop is here. Bevan's Racing.
It's got that
RC Massmaster.
SLT was SLT3 radio.
Yeah, it's that radio that me and you don't like. The only thing we like on it is the steering dual rate.
Yes, that's a positive right there.
And the range is good.
As long as you pull the antenna out.
Yep. Did you ever do that, by the
No, I
way?
haven't done it yet. The whole thing is, I'm prepping for this weekend to be able to, do some more speed runs.
Yep.
But everything, just like you, everything is weather dependent. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, you're looking forward, like right now, looking at, I think 2 days ago when I checked the schedule, I thought I had seen rain in the forecast. So
How's it going, RC Steve?
makes a difference.
Yeah, see, you get the rain, I get the 100-degree weather.
Right.
I thought I
Yes.
was going to have longer before those temperatures came here.
Right. You know what is cool, though? So this SR315 will bind to that better radio, correct?
The 315 binds to your SPEKTRUM, your rugged.
Yeah, it's not. It has to have the fifth. It has to have the 5 in it, right? Isn't it like the 310 won't, or 210 or something like that?
Yeah, I know the 2 series.
Right, one of those won't bind to a better remote, which that's cool. So
Yeah.
that means that's saying if you've got like that nice DX5 or whatever you got, or
well,
you can
most of the
bind it.
ones with the bind button versus
Right.
the jumper.
Right. Because I think I tried that. I tried binding it with the thing and it wasn't working. And
Yeah.
it was kind of, it was disheartening.
Yeah, at least the 4 channels. I know if they have the new smart button on it, I can bind those to the DX5C.
Right. Bevins, thank you for that, man. Appreciate it. He wants a nitro Outcast. I don't think Arrma's going to go
The
nitro.
SLT3 is, can't say that word. Rogue factor, you got to rephrase that.
Let's see.
Bunghole, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
RC guy Earl, good morning. Seastone, good morning.
Look at you. You're finally able to. You've got 2 devices going right now.
Yeah, my daughter's sleeping, so I took her phone.
Able to see chat. The quality of your picture's really good.
Well, I jumped in with my phone and it was all staticky. And I was like, let me go upstairs, get the other phone. She's asleep right now. So, she's got the better phone in the house. Of course, we always give our kids the better stuff.
Now, this 652 servo is the servo that came in the 6S lineup. Now, what servo did your regular 4S Outcast?
Well, that's a plastic servo. That's not metal.
Metal geared, right there.
Metal geared, but I thought the new ones.
Nah, it's that S652. Now, hopefully, this run of 652s are in good shape because obviously I've had 2 DOAs. Is that phone ringing? I've had 2 DOAs on those servos, the 652s.
Have you?
Now, did you swap out your servo already in your Outcast to a Savox?
No. The only time I change a servo is when it stops working.
Right.
And I've been very fortunate that most of my servos keep working.
Chris Cotto saying, thank God it didn't come with a 651. Row Factor, appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I thought the 652 was like the handbrake one on the V2 infraction or something. But
people want to see the Kraton too. Let's just roll through this. So here's your specifications right here. You obviously go on armarc.com and you can get all your, specs for everything for these vehicles. We're going to go ahead and jump on to let's see if we can find it.
Thank you, RC Steve. We appreciate it.
Shot by 50 plus. Italian. Sent in.
Everybody knows RC Guy Garage is the 4S 3S man.
There we go. Bam.
He's got, I think RC Guy Garage got everybody on YouTube buying a big rock.
Right.
I couldn't kill it. I put it up against the X-Max and I couldn't kill the thing.
Now, there's supposed to be like a Giga site here. Welcome to the all new website for Arrma. That's weird. So try to find the regular. I guess maybe this is it. There's a different site that you can go
different
on.
part numbers. I've been taking advantage of. Yeah, Paul, I think a lot of people have that scratch and dent that is basically like an open box deal. There's some pretty good prices on that.
See if we can find that. No, I don't want to join the mailing list.
Joe Mama said he bought 2 big rocks because of you.
Did he really?
Yep.
I mean, they're really not bad vehicles. They really are. The Big Rock especially. And to be honest with you, I'm very shocked with that Granite. What that thing is taking. I mean, it just finally, through the damage from the skate park, finally cracked its own chassis. And in general, the parts are really cheap.
Well, we talked about that. At what point do you throw it away and just buy another one?
When does it
at a $300 RC at the time? When
has it expired?
Yes. I mean, you guys saw what I did to my Vendetta. It was more to fix it than it was just to go buy another one.
I don't know.
420 plus 3 RC said yours was the last video he watched before he bought his Big Rock too.
There's supposed to be a Giga site you can go on to. We're gonna figure out how to get to the Giga site.
So Rogue Factor said, RC Guy Garage, I was right about the price.
Rogue Factor. Oh, did Rogue Factor actually guess on a price? I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm not sure what he was saying.
Big Muscle, what's going on, guy? All right, so here's the Giga site. Let's see, show more. So this is the Kraton. So that's the question too. Is
Kevin B saying that's the wrong Kraton?
I'm assuming this one has.
That's the old Kraton right there, guy.
Oh, I guess I'm not sharing the right one.
Yeah, because see the body?
How do I share?
That's the one I have.
Yeah, you see, it's because I got the wrong thing up here. How do I share the? Stop sharing. And then, how do I share?
Michigan Dirt, good morning.
Share screen. Share a tab. Kraton. Share. There we go. Now I think I've got the right one up, right? Yeah. So the Giga site is supposedly, but there we go. So there's the Giga site. This is the site that I was looking for. This one gives you like more interaction. So let's see, what do we got here? Trying to see if we've got the
Paul, it's like I don't know, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. It's pretty cold here right now. That's why I got long sleeves on. I jumped out of bed to jump on the live with Guy. I have no socks, shoes on, or pants.
So you're on a Zoom call.
It's a business attire.
Business attire nowadays.
Exactly.
Ever since that 4-letter word that you can't say no more. God, I hate the fact that it's like as soon as you say that,
yeah,
can't even put it in my videos anymore. So if you type out that 4-letter word that begins with a C, it's just
or the short version for transmission.
Did I just call that a 4-letter word?
Yeah, you did.
How about let's change that to a 5-letter
word?
Yeah, the coffee show that I used to do, that one.
Yes. Yeah, you can't see that.
So the V1 versus V2, it's saying that it is 16% larger footprint.
How much?
A 16%.
Yeah, see, that's what I remember, 16%.
Yeah. So the Outcast is a 17%. This one's 16.
Yep. And I wonder if that's because, and this is just me thinking, the Kraton is longer than the original Outcast.
Oh, right. Right.
So if they're using the Vendetta chassis, well, it's not even the chassis. It might, well, I thought I went through that with the, yeah, that's right. I thought we went through that because they only had the short and the long chassis.
Yes.
And I thought the Kraton was the same as like the Vortec, or the Vortec was the short chassis.
Yeah, the Vortec is definitely that shorter chassis.
Yeah, so the Kraton was the longer chassis, like the Vendetta and Big Rock.
Yeah.
So if it's larger than that at 16%, could be a chassis change.
Yeah, that I swear that I saw. There was a picture that I saw, and for some reason I can't seem to locate it, that it showed the chassis, and it showed 17%, and it showed it in the chassis.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But for some reason, I can't seem to find that picture anymore.
But, you know, they could have just done it with the, you know, shock towers.
Right.
Especially that rear one where the rear diff is.
Right.
I noticed that they could move that back and forth where the wing and everything is, like they did on the Vendetta.
Man, I need to get like a tape measure in there and measure this thing.
Well, you know, you got to order one of everything. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
the pre-order started today, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that.
Kevin B said the chassis is in fact bigger.
Okay. There was a picture. I know I saw it, and for some reason, like I said, I just can't seem to find that picture anymore. You know what it may have been? It may have been on an Arrma post. You know how they post stuff everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Unlike Traxxas. Traxxas says they don't do social media.
No, Traxxas doesn't. But they've been doing a lot of YouTube videos lately.
Yeah. They do Instagram. They do Facebook.
Yep.
I'm waiting for them to do TikTok. But I remember one of the guys from Traxxas saying, we don't do social media.
Paul is saying that he doesn't know it's $100 more for a fire team right now. Well, the fire team didn't sell, so they're going to keep dropping the price on that thing.
Oh, right, yeah.
Every shop I go to's got a stack of them.
Yeah, you definitely can probably find some good deals in the brick and mortar stores. Because I'm pretty sure that they want to evacuate their product. You know what I mean? Because having products sitting on the shelves doesn't do anything for them.
Yep. Rogue Factor RC says he loves the darn fire team.
That's not a bad vehicle at all. It's just, it's an odd vehicle. It's odd. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people are into,
out of the box.
As long as you're not sending it 50 feet in the air, the thing's awesome.
Right. Get rid of that handbrake. I'm sorry. I can't manipulate that handbrake. I just can't.
Yeah. And let you throw some road tires on it, lower it down, do some speed runs. We're going to see a fire team speed run vehicle soon, Guy.
Oh, yeah.
At the jump spot.
We're going to see the jump spot. How'd you know? Like you got insider info or something.
Yeah. Kevin B loves the fire team too.
Yeah. Fire team definitely. And that's, you know, what's funny is that how many people thought you were against the fire team? That wasn't it.
I mean, look at everybody. Like Chris is saying the fire team's on sale now for $500 as well. So you guys are telling me that they price gouged when it came out. How can they drop it to $500 when it was $750 back then?
Yep.
I mean, come on, you guys got to think about this stuff. That's whenever they drop a new RC, when something new comes out, the old one drops so far in price with Arrma.
Yeah.
Traxxas just doesn't do that. They don't care. They leave the price. They'll actually raise the price of the older stuff.
Yeah, I can't pronounce that name. Zaraki says he loves the handbrake, or that individual loves the handbrake. Man, I just can't.
Zaraki.
I just don't have the coordination for it.
I mean, in dirt, I can slide it better with the trigger and the brake, just powering through it on loose dirt than using the handbrake.
Because that's what you're used to too.
Well, I'm used to the handbrake on the V2. I love it on the Infraction V2. On road, the thing works great. I love drifting with it.
Yeah.
But on dirt, I just tried tapping it and it would just spin out.
I think I just don't have the patience for it to learn.
Yep.
You know me. I just want all trigger and just
full trigger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just full trigger everywhere.
You don't have brake. It's neutral or full trigger. That's it.
Right.
Your brake is when you hit the tree.
Yeah,
or the mailbox.
Mailbox.
Or the X-Max sitting in the middle of the road.
Oh my God. Couple trash barrels. Man, I really want to get some dimensions.
They dropped the price on the drag C10. That's because the new drag car came out, right? The mid-motor one. Oh, Traxxas dropped it on their C10 one.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, well, Traxxas actually dropped the price. Yep.
With inflation the way it is, I mean,
a smart move.
It is. Get people to buy now while they still have a little bit of money in the bank.
And I think that's a key point that you're making right now, is that hopefully you would hope that a company would recognize something like that if you're starting to see a drop in sales because of obviously inflation, that if you're a strong enough company, and that's a big word right there, that's a big phrase. If you're a strong enough company to be able to lessen your price to keep that product rolling, to get the product in the hands of the people that are basically paying your bills.
Yes.
That's what we are doing. We are paying their bills.
Yes.
If we don't buy because we're scared, that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, people are holding out for the sales. That's why that scratch and dent sale thing, I think, was a good idea.
Black sheep over here. No pants, comfy and nice. I think that's funny, man. That whole thing, obviously, people doing all the Zoom calls and forgetting that they're not wearing pants. And they go to go get to that. Whoa, sit back down.
The producer on our last show, she drove halfway to work, realizing she didn't have her pants on.
No way.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what's funny, man? I don't know if that ever happened to you when you were a kid, but for some reason I remember, and everybody that I've talked to, you've had that dream where somehow you're in school with no pants. It's like, how did I get it? You know what I mean? In the dream, you just can't comprehend,
Can't comprehend why you're walking around with no pants on.
Why am I in school with no pants on?
Walking around with tidy whities.
Yep.
Big fan of the Big Rock.
Engineers lengthen the vehicle 21 point and longer than previous model for increase. Right, but the question is, because what Earl was questioning is it just a Vendetta / whatever chassis? It looks like it might not be. It looks like it might be a total overall redesign, which would be great.
Or did they just modify the top of the diff, because it's a split diff housing? Did they modify that and just stretch that out? Like the shock tower area.
Right. I can't find that picture. There was a definite picture that I saw that showed the chassis and it had arrows. I just can't find that picture now. It may have been like on an Instagram or something like that. Somebody had brought up a good comment about these rubber shielded bearings versus rubber sealed versus shielded.
Yep.
And it was like, just because it says rubber shielded doesn't necessarily mean it's better than... See, it's saying rubber shielded.
Well, that's just to keep the dirt out.
Right.
Which... shielded bearings sometimes are better in some certain situations.
Yes.
Especially when you're going to go in water a lot.
Right. But they were saying that the oddity about getting bearings like this, while it might seem like it's an awesome upgrade, it's that seal that may actually be a part of the problem, that it degrades too quickly.
Everybody's throwing up the part number to the chassis, I think, in there, saying it is longer, it is longer, it is longer. And it could be.
Right.
I mean, you guys have seen the Arrma stuff in the past, and you got to understand why I'm so skeptical. It was just like the same thing with the fire team. A body and a longer chassis and all the same, diffs and control arms and everything. They have to repurpose some of the parts.
Yeah.
It can't be a totally new RC. I would love to see, and I'm praying it's a totally new RC, especially as long as it took.
With the exception of the electronics, have you found anything? Now you're talking about when we're on an Arrma site here, but you're bringing up something. I have a question. With your sledge, have you found repurposed parts yet?
On the sledge, no.
Okay. So the sledge has been realistically a real redesign usage of all new parts.
Yeah, because even like the ESC that we thought was like the old 6S ESC, the programming in it's way different.
Right.
And remember, you can't modify Traxxas's programming. So even if you put your 6S out of your UDR in there, it would handle nothing like the ESC that's in it.
Right.
And I think that's why it's funny when that thing was dropped, everybody was talking about changing out the ESC, but then when you run it, you realize it's got plenty of pep, plenty of punch. They put everything there right in the right spots.
Yeah.
And that's why I left it stock like it is.
That
Even my Max V2 is stock.
That was my primary reason why I swapped out from the original, Traxxas, because obviously I left the same. Did I leave the same? No, I swapped out everything. I swapped out the motor and the ESC from my X-Max, and that was a horrible mistake because, number one, I made the foolish mistake and I didn't put a fan back on it, but I didn't think running it the short amount of time that I did was going to burn out the motor. I ended up wasting the motor, which that was a tough lesson to learn. So now it's got the stock motor back in it, but it's still running the SPEKTRUM ESC, which is killing me. That SPEKTRUM ESC has got to get out of there because I've got a Max 6 to throw in there, which was a recommendation by you.
Yeah.
Because the hobby wing is definitely going to be, it's just going to give it that extra little punch that the factory stock Traxxas just couldn't give it.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, 100%. Gears and an ESC in that thing, and I mean it wakes right up.
Yep.
I mean I showed it with the wide kit versus the other one, which I had to redo that video because the blackout spot in it. So that'll get uploaded in a little while.
Man, I really want to get my hands on one of these things.
Yeah, John, the firmware doesn't allow it.
All right, let's move on. What do we got here? Specifications, or is that performance? It's performance and technology. So, 120 amp 4S.
Daniel, even like the shocks, they didn't put the max shocks all the way around on it. They're actually, I think, shorter on one side. It's like the front of the max goes all the way around on the sledge. So, I mean, they do repurpose like the body of it, but they don't make it. It's not like Arrma does and takes like their 3S line had all the same shocks on everything. 3S, 4S, everything. They were all leaking.
Yep.
So yeah, like the shock caps, they said, the max shock caps work, stuff like that. But for me, I haven't had to replace anything on it, on the sledge at all. I bought the upgraded diffs. I did buy the upgraded gears, but I bought them from Traxxas. That's why I haven't shattered any. Everything I run on that thing, the only reason I upgraded it was to get some more speed out of it, which it really didn't need.
Let's see. what I'm trying to do is, because things have changed with StreamYard, they're constantly like updating StreamYard, which was great because the last time I did a StreamYard, it was a total disaster because things were not in place the way they had done it. And what's funny is that I emailed StreamYard, or I forget what had happened. Somehow they got into contact with me, and I told them what my issue was, and they literally made the change without me even knowing it. And now StreamYard, it made it easy to go ahead and go on, but it's still a little bit of a learning curve here.
Yeah, 420. I agree. They're only going to keep the two for us. I think the Outcast and Kraton like they had before. They didn't add any other ones.
All right, let's see.
Old and slow. No such thing as too much speed. When you can't keep tires on something, there's too much speed.
All right, stop sharing.
But no, I overpower everything I can.
Share.
I'm excited for the 4S line as well. You know, I'm just leery because I already have a 4S Outcast and I have a 4S Kraton. You know, I have the old model.
Now I think I've got it right. No, I don't have it right as usual. I'm still messing this up.
So Black Sheep RC. So who you got bets on got sent the first ones to get the first videos out. Usually once Arrma does this, you'll see videos. And last time I think 4 people dropped videos that day. I want to say 10 minutes after it.
Right.
So I haven't seen anybody dropping videos 10 minutes after Arrma dropped theirs. No.
Yeah, usually it's right away. I mean, you've got like, the people that the usual staples like Tony, JT, the Santa Maria guy. Does he get any of that stuff?
I don't know. I know he did Traxxas. I mean, all those big guys,
right?
And it's all on who puts in for this stuff,
Right. Yeah.
RC Driver Online is my bet.
Yeah, he had the when you sent me that the link to Traxxas with the flatbed truck there, he had come out with that video like right away.
Yes.
That RC Driver guy.
Same thing with the sledge. When they dropped the sledge, I think he was one of the first to start tearing it down.
Yep. Yeah, he'll probably be one of the first ones, as I'm thinking.
Old and Slow is betting Thunder RC.
You know what's funny? I haven't seen anything from Thunder RC in my feed. Like, how they always recommend stuff?
Yeah.
I haven't seen nothing.
Well, you've been busy speed running.
Well, what's crazy is I've totally until Old and Slow just said that, I totally forgot about Thunder RC. I mean, not in my mind at all.
Thunder RC for a 3S, 4S line, I just don't see it. He's bigger, 5th scales, faster, higher jumps.
Right. You never know, though.
You never know.
Because sometimes, companies might want to send vehicles to people that, I don't know, do other stuff and just say, hey, we've got a big, supporting with this individual on these larger scale vehicles. Let's send them something small and see if we can get them excited. Because it might grab that other chunk of the pie. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's what it is. When you get the same content creators doing the same, I got an RC early deal. I mean, it's tough. It's hard to reach everybody. You just got, I've seen people with no subscribers get, one of the RCs.
I remember that.
I was shocked. I went on the guy's thing and, I want to say it was with the Vendetta or maybe it was the Infraction V2.
Yeah. And I think it was somebody that only had a couple thousand subscribers.
Yes. I don't even think he was monetized yet.
Right. I thought the guy was like 2,000 subscribers or something like that. And I have to say that sometimes that is good because it also gives that individual a boost.
Yeah.
So there's something that the company saw in that channel, and they just said, "Hey, you know, let's just send this guy something and see what happens." It's just a drop in the hat for them.
Only video I seen from JT yesterday was a picture of the thing Arrma had out. I never seen no video of a car driving. Yeah, and there's some of those guys that just run down to the hobby shop and do you know, the reveals right there in the hobby store.
Right.
For me, looking at an RC behind a counter or even touching it, taking it apart on the counter, it's still not going to tell you what you need to know.
Yep.
You need to run the thing.
Yeah, you know, that's another video that I'm doing soon too. A lot of people jump the gun, me included, on when you get something in your hands, there's only so much you can do in a limited time. Everybody's always wondering about, you know, like let's just say this vehicle right here. When somebody gets this thing in their hands, they're going to give you like that. They have to remember that, or at least to say, this is a first impression. So any vehicle, it's a first impression type of deal. Now, after you've had it for a couple of months and you've had, you know, like 100 packs through it or whatever, that impression can always change. Now, I've got a jump pack, and I was sent another one, but I've got a jump pack that initially, the video I did, I was like, this thing is mint. It's starting my diesel truck without batteries. You know what I mean? It's like I really put it through the ringer. Now it finally, the little boost jump thing crapped out on me. Now I've contacted the company and there's been no contact back. So all those videos that I made of me saying, hey, this thing is the latest, greatest, it's really not the latest, greatest anymore, is it? Because after some time, you know, like with you.
Black Sheep makes a pretty good point right here. He says, my wife told me she ordered my Father's Day gift too. I just don't know what it is. A drop right before Father's Day pre-orders?
Right.
Huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking.
That didn't even cross my mind.
Well, you'll be getting it anyway, I'm assuming.
How do you know it's not behind my chair?
That's true. It might be. It might already be right there. We just don't know it. That's funny.
Yo. Sup, everyone. Chef Beardsley.
What's going on, guy? Chris, what's going on, man?
Do you see the difference in the arm between the V1 and V2 that's on the screen right now? I mean, yeah. I was staring at that going, man, that's a lot of beef there.
Yeah, it is a big difference.
Doesn't look like there's much flex there.
No, but maybe there is.
Yeah.
Maybe there is. Hopefully they're not what do people call those arms? People have a tendency to call the Arrma arms glass arms.
Yeah. Kind of like the monkey metal from Traxxas.
Yeah, monkey metal.
Monkey metal.
Come on, guy. It ain't no monkey metal.
Joe's RC.
It's funny though.
Garage. We need more RC Guy Garage and Earl in alive. Let's go.
Right here. Right here, right now. Taking East Coast to West Coast by storm.
Yes. Covering all. He's raining and I'm 100 degrees over here.
Yeah. Actually, today is not a bad Rogue Factor. It's totally monkey metal.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a
no
funny
free
thing
rides.
that,
hello.
What's his name? That was Thunder RC that coined that, right?
I don't. I'm sure he.
I think it is.
He said it.
Yeah, I don't think
people have been calling it monkey metal for a while.
Yeah, I don't even know.
It's it's like Ugga Dugga from Kevin Talbert. People were saying that well before he was saying it when we were working on cars.
423 RC says Arrma must have stolen the monkey metal from Traxxas for the slipper clutches.
They put them in Arrma's diffs now.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin Talbot said it way back. Yeah,
Monkey metal. Yeah.
that's funny.
I mean, it's just like the Max 6 in my X Maxes. I got it from him. He's the one that said put a Max 6 in right away. I didn't, of course. I ran the stock ones, but I eventually went to that, and you know, pretty much Kevin Talbert's is how I set mine up. I know he's changing his now, but I still believe with an X Max that they're cheap to fix if they do break, and you know, they're quick to fix, easy to fix. So I just leave them stock.
That's a big one right there, is the fact that I think now, would you agree, is it the size that helps though, that makes it easier to fix?
I think it's all the pins everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you take out a small little grub screw and a pin comes out, you know.
And this thing came out in what, 2015? The X Max?
Yeah, I think the 6S version. Or was
So
that
for
the
a
8S
vehicle-
version?
For a vehicle to still be valid and still be considered a beast, which I thoroughly hope. I hope that I can get to that point. I really do.
Yeah.
I didn't buy that thing just to have it sitting like it does. I think that thing has sat the most out of any RC I think that I have.
I feel your pain because I put that white kit on mine, and you know, I grabbed it by mistake the other day and I was sorely disappointed.
Yep.
But, you know, I pulled it apart and it had a stock pinion in it with a 52 spur. That's
Right.
why it had no wheel speed.
Right.
So running them that way with, you know, not enough power, it's just, you got to get air control, whatever you got to do to get air control.
Right. Says it has, oh, look at that. Now, I do like this. I did come across something, video that's dropping today, kind of, one of the things that I know that you like on Traxxas versus Arrma is there are times when you appreciate the fact that Traxxas locks their battery down with a holder,
Yes.
not having Velcro, to where I had a little bit of a mishap yesterday because my Velcro strap, I think the drive shaft may have been rubbing on it and I didn't notice.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. Or the Velcro just eventually just goes.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on speed runs where I lose control and roll it, and then next thing I know, I don't have batteries in it.
Yep.
You know, so it has its good and its bad.
Yeah. But this one's talking about improved battery and wire management, which that would be a plus. That would definitely be a plus.
Yeah, but they've been using those holders.
Straps, right? Those little holders from like the Outcast is the first time that I remembered. The 5th scale Outcast was the first time I remembered seeing that little holder, and I think I remember Chef Beardsley was like, "Dude, until I saw your video, I didn't realize that that's where the wires go." And I was like, "Yeah," I just saw it and shoved them in there.
Black
Just to
Sheep
keep the
says
wires from falling.
Thunder RC's been pumping out daily videos.
Has he?
We must be
Nothing-
on the do not notify list.
That's crazy because I have not
Yep.
seen one video in my feed from him. And I'm subscribed to him too.
Hey, John, no cussing on here. Just got a John Voss.
John Voss. Yeah. I think he said Traxxas all the way.
What's that?
No, I missed that. I see that he says Traxxas all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's going to pop that hot racing? Nobody. Nobody's going to pop the hot racing drive shaft into anything. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Hot racing, nice drive shaft that you got there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's not.
That thing's in a couple of pieces.
Yeah, those shatter.
Oh.
We should call those monkey metal drive shafts.
That's the monkey metal, yep. Yeah, I think if you haven't seen the video, you definitely got to go over to Earl's channel and check out his Arrma Vendetta speed runs. he did what he thought was an upgrade to his drive shaft, which it looked like it. And here's the sad part, because this guy over here, and that's one of the things. He grabbed the drive shaft. You assumed it was going to be a great upgrade. I grabbed the drive shaft myself. Well, guess what? I haven't thrown my drive shafts into anything just because of what I saw that happened.
I have my 6S Outcast here, my 4S Outcast, supposed to get that short drive shaft in there. I'm going to leave the stock one.
Right, sway bar on the Kraton. Yep.
Yep.
There is a sway bar on the Kraton.
Did the old one have one? No.
Let's see.
I think I ran my 4S Kraton, I think, 3 or 4 times. That's about it.
Yeah.
Grass driven.
Now, why is that? Just not fast enough?
I don't know. It's just one of those things, you know. I have the 6S Kraton.
Yeah.
And you know how I am with speed. I always grab the 6S one.
Yeah, but isn't your 6S 8S? You can't even remember.
No, it was. The EXB was 8S.
Yeah, that thing was.
But my V4 is still 6S stock.
Your Mojave's 8S.
My Mojave definitely is 8S.
How is that Mojave doing, by the way? I haven't seen anything from the Mojave.
You know, it's people ask me all the time. Some guy asked me today about the Typhon. It's like, man, you know, I ran that 3 months ago.
You forget, though, because
it's not that I forget. It's when you have so many RCs, it's like, which one do you want to break today?
For me, I have a tendency to actually forget.
I forgot about the V2 Max. I did forget about that because I'm realizing that thing. I still haven't broke that thing either.
I still haven't opened the box.
You got a few RCs that are sitting over there brand new that need to be out. Like
there are too many RCs sitting in boxes.
Yep.
You know what I'm afraid of, though? Because what's going to happen is I'm going to once again have 21 batteries all charged.
Yep.
And I finally, yesterday, there's still 2 more batteries that I discovered to charge, but I finally, yesterday, have burned all 17 of those batteries out. Finally.
Yeah.
That took a long time.
It definitely did. You were doing speed runs all day long.
Yep.
Trying to kill them.
Yep. Mojave rules. It definitely does. Yeah. I think we need to see a Mojave video from you.
Hey, I got a windshield from a Mojave from you. Where's yours?
I think it's time. Well, mine's in a box now. Mine's in a parts box.
It's on death row. There. It's on death row. Just say
yeah.
It's on timeout.
No, that thing's not getting resuscitated. That thing costs too much to resuscitate.
So at what point do you replace it?
Yeah, and that, you know, what's funny is that even that's a very good point, is that keeping up on maintenance is something that's big. And one of the things that Earl had kind of brought out is that everybody thinks that Earl is a maintenance freak. He is to an extent, but not really, because he even admitted at one point, he goes, I don't really maintain stuff. It's just when something happens,
I fix it.
That's when I fix it. That's when I sometimes notice something else.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a bad habit of just focusing in with my blinders on the one thing that's broken, and I don't look at the whole RC while it's apart, and I miss things.
Yes.
I miss potential little cracks and fractures. I miss a bearing might be locked up. I may have been in that area. I'm getting a little bit better at it, but you get, at least I get, so focused on what the problem is, I don't look at everything else that's around it. You know,
today's video that you dropped this morning, when you thought a rock was jammed in there, turned out to be a pre-existing problem that flashed back when you saw it.
Right.
You know, but you grabbed the RC and threw it and said, let's go rip it and charge up some batteries. This is a good RC.
Yep.
And that's something you knew about.
Yeah.
So when you run RCs later and they start to break all the time, you forget the stuff that you beat it up. My X-Maxes, man, I'm telling you, there's a bunch of stuff wrong with them, I'm finding out.
Right.
And they've been through Big Bertha, and they've been through 5 years of work.
Yep. I think we've kind
Two
of
of my 4 favorite RC YouTubers. You need to get Duper Bash here to drive it, and Kevin Talbert to break it. Kevin Talbert's a monster truck driver now. He gave up RC.
right.
Did you see that camera crew that was out there?
No.
Oh man, he had a full-blown TV movie crew out there filming him driving his big truck.
That's what you got to do.
His full size. And he was basically saying it's just like an RC car, except, you know, full size.
Right.
So I'm going to drive it just like that.
Yeah.
He soon realized that it's going to cost his pocketbook.
Yeah.
He didn't turn on some fans, overheated it.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see him hit his goal.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Rogue Factor. Yep. Right. I did. Hobby Town. He was always working on everyone else's. He never worked on his own.
Right.
That's the thing is with mechanics. We're always fixing other people's cars, and we just never fix anybody our own.
There's an old saying that used to be used: the cobbler's kids get no shoes.
Yep. Look at my wagon. The spark plugs had no spark left.
Yep. Yep.
So what do you guys have to say about this new 4S line?
That's what I want to know.
How many people here are pre-ordering today? That's what I want to know.
You know what I want to know? I actually do want to know. Can you pre-order today?
Can you pre-order today? I mean, they dropped a video. They have it on their site, right?
Let's see.
Oh, Rogue Factor said he already pre-ordered.
V2. Yeah, looks like. What did he say? He said he already did it.
Yeah, he said he pre-ordered on the Horizon site.
Add to cart.
Looks good, but what is the price? It was $470.
$470.
Yeah, $470. Dutch says he's not ordering one.
I gotta be quick on this.
Bevins Racing said he's going to pre-order today.
Oops.
Zeus Lights RC. I don't know. I will see if I get the European price.
What's the European price?
It's usually way more than our price.
Yeah.
Let me grab a charger. My phone's about, or my daughter's phone's about to die.
All right. How do I, still learning this. Can't believe I'm still learning this. How do I? Yeah, I used to be so good with StreamYard. Now I'm terrible with it.
Well, what was the last time you did these lives?
It was the last Losi drop, the that thing there. But that was a total fail. The what was it? What's that Losi that they just dropped? The
Losi. I don't know.
Curry there. Oh, the heck!
Was it a crawler?
No, almost. Man, I can't even remember what the name of the thing was, but whatever it was.
No Free Ride says he's got a sledge coming this weekend.
Nice.
He's going to wait on the 4S. No rush.
Yep.
I won't pre-order. I will buy from my local hawk, Frank Nogles. Sorry if I messed up your name.
Yeah, they want me to sign in. I ain't signing in. I'm good. Yeah.
Daniel says you never pop up in his notifications anymore.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that there's a lot of people. Same thing. You know what's funny is the same thing with Earl. Every once in a while, there'll be a video that just does not show up.
Yeah. I don't get notifications from you.
Yep. Yeah.
Deontay says, I'm also thinking on the sledge. How's it going, Deontay?
Thinking on the sledge. I'm surprised he didn't have it.
I mean, they're expensive. I'm just happy I don't have to buy parts for the thing every time I go out.
Wheels Down says, I pre-ordered the sledge and had to wait a month before I could start getting parts. Right.
Yep.
Which is actually kind of surprising because Traxxas is really good with that.
Yeah, but I think they, you know, I mean, our whole China thing with getting parts.
Yep. Now, see, Jeremy Stewart, that's actually a good thing right there that you said. He's going to wait until he sees these things tested first. And that's where I'm also saying you got to be careful, man, because even what I said with that jump pack, I was all gung-ho. This thing is great. The case looked nice. It was a pretty color. Everything looked great about it. But then when it comes down to it, customer support is big. I've several times reached out to that company, Tack Life, with no response back. Zero. I mean, and nowadays when you respond on social media, it's like the days of email and phone call are basically out nowadays. If you want to get your answers, I hate to say this, and I know you don't do Facebook, but you want to get your answers, you go to Facebook nowadays, or you go to Instagram, or you go to wherever they have their social media, and you leave a message there, and 9 times out of 10, or maybe 7 times out of 10, you'll get a fast response. Nothing. So it's like waiting sometimes that time to see what happens with it. Like with you and the Vendetta, watching what you've put the Vendetta through and your, trials, I guess if they call it trials and tribulations. Even the hot racing drive shaft that was an upgrade.
Yeah.
I mean
that Vendetta impressed me.
Right.
And
everybody
the Big
went
Rock
out and bought those
me.
drive shafts, and then all of excuse me.
Mike Jernak, hello. He's saying hello, guy.
But weren't those drive shafts like $28 or $32?
Yeah, I got them because they were on Horizon site under Arrma saying that they are the upgrade for the Vendetta.
Yep.
And I bought them off eBay, but I figured if that big company's recommending them, they're definitely better than those eBay ones I bought.
And then what ended up happening was I think they're $18 now.
Yeah. Well, the first time I went to order them, nobody had them.
Yep.
And so I ordered them from one company. They were 26. They didn't show up. I went back and they were like $18, $19.
Yep. Yep. Let's see. What's Big Muscle saying here? Whoa, wait a minute. Big Muscle, what? Forgot to tell you, I get my USA Kyosho One monster truck that I had on back order. When I took it out of the box, it only came with 3 tires with 1 on back order. You've got to be kidding me.
Wow.
How do they do that?
That's a miss, isn't it?
That's a bad miss. But 1 tire on back order? That's insane, man. Could you imagine if that was the new thing?
Oh,
We're going to ship out your RC. We're sorry, but it's not going to come with tires.
Yes.
That's like trying to go to the dealership and, well, there's your microchips for your cars, for your new cars, right? I heard, this could be, again, this is social media stuff, but I heard there was a Bronco. The guy did I think it was either a TikTok or it was one of those, YouTube shorts. The guy got a brand new Bronco without one of the rear seats installed. That he got a note with the truck. This is a brand new ordered truck.
IOU, a back seat?
With an IOU with the back seat.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be kidding me.
That sounds like something the dealer would do to satisfy one customer and couldn't get the part.
Right.
Yep.
Holy smokes.
I mean, I just watched a guy, buy a car from a car lot, took it in because he had scraped his bumper when he parked in his driveway the day he bought it. Took it to the body shop and the whole side of the car was Bondo.
Unbelievable.
Dealerships do repair the cars.
Yeah, they do. They send them out too to get repaired.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Oh man, this is actually a story that I can say right now. So the company, it was a Chevy dealership. It was actually a well-known Chevy dealership. They had a body shop that was behind. They would obviously, do the body repairs, do all the whatever that the regular shop couldn't take care of, all that stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
There was an insurance job. This is a true story. An insurance job. A vehicle came in with minor damage to, I can't remember if it was a front impact or rear impact. And I was a kid when this happened. The guy took the car behind the shop and rammed his tow truck into it with the big heavy bumper to total the vehicle.
Oh, wow.
On purpose. On purpose. Like, I mean, you want to talk about scams, man.
Yeah. Mo's RC said he pre-ordered both of them.
Who did?
Mo RC.
Mo, you're nuts, guy.
Yep. And I agree.
Check that out.
Trying to take your V1 is definitely to upgrade it to this new one from the way it looks. It's going to cost you more
right
to update your older one than it is to buy one.
Yep. Only Chevy. No, only the dealership. Only Chevy. I like your car, guy. RC Steve right there. I used to work for a huge car dealership. What is it called? Nationwide. I paint and body work this morning.
367 cars waiting.
Holy smokes.
I've been hearing insurance companies are totaling out cars because they can't get parts and can't get customers into cars. So they're totally. So right now, I hear that, the big, where is that? CarMax or whatever that you buy the wrecked cars from.
Right.
They're pretty good deals because it's cars you can't get parts for, which insurance companies usually try to buy new depending on but people are buying used parts or second cars and putting them together.
Yep.
So.
Hey, that's what we've been talking
about.
Rogue
Factor just ordered the Kraton.
Yeah, used car prices are nuts right now. Yeah, man. When a used car with 70,000 miles is now netting over original MSRP, it's like, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, yeah. Even the dealerships.
Yeah.
They're marking up their cars so much they don't want to sell them because then their lot will be empty.
Yep. 111 people, right? 111 people and only 60 thumbs up. What's up with that? 109. Yeah. Well, we kind of moved on from what the show was originally about.
Oh, Mo said he had $120 in loyalty points.
Wow, that's nice.
So that's why he ordered both of them.
Yeah, that $120 isn't much of a debt when you split it in half. It's only 60/60, so.
Hey, that's California tax on one RC.
Hey, wait a minute. That's a fire team right there.
Yeah.
$800.
Yeah.
Or at least it used to be a fire team. Right, the new Ford Lightning. Yeah. Earl's probably already driven one of the Ford Lightnings.
I have. We drove them a year and a half ago.
I'm telling you, man, isn't that nuts? This is what he does, man.
Product placement.
Yeah. Product placement. You know it. Come on, guy. Deserves right. I appreciate that. Thompson. That's right. Come on, we both deserve thumbs ups. Go over to Earl's channel and just give him a thumbs up just because. Just pick any video. Just pick any video and just go.
I gotta go, fellas. Daniel, take care.
See you later, Daniel. Right, Black Sheep, full trigger. You know it, man. Ah, right. This right here. Ford is telling the Ford dealerships to keep. Oh, if they keep selling over, right? I saw that. If they keep selling over MSRP, but how much truth is that really? What's really put out there to what's really said? You know what I mean?
You got to remember these dealerships they're independent.
Yep.
So it's kind of like fast food. You know, Taco Bell has their franchise ones and they have independent ones.
Yeah.
That's why prices are different at McDonald's, from McDonald's to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Same thing with dealerships. That's why you need to shop around. You need to find a loyal dealership that's willing to sell in volume rather than make it all on one car.
Right.
We just have to be smart right now on what we're going to buy. I don't drive. I'm not paying those. I'm still buying a tank of gas every week.
Yeah.
So now I've had to extend it to two weeks just to keep the price the same.
Yeah.
I told Guy the other day I spent $40 on fuel. I got 3 gallons of gas. So I was able to get to the gas station and back for my free cup of coffee.
I'm right now, I'm actually thankful that Big Black is out of commission.
Oh yeah.
The diesel prices, it's insane. That cluster's coming. That cluster's coming today.
Oh, that's good. I can't wait to see that thing.
I can't wait to see it not do anything.
Well, you know, that green fuel you took out of there.
Yeah, that actually was out of the Camaro.
Oh, was it?
Doesn't that
Camaro
look like
had diesel in it?
That looks like mixed fuel, doesn't it?
It
looks like I made a mistake and filled up my Camaro with mixed fuel.
Yep.
That was bad. That's a bright green blue. That was horrible.
So Harold said he's going to wait for us two guys to do a review and then decide if he's going to buy one.
Well, Earl's already got 4 of them on pre-order, so.
I haven't because they're not open yet. But as soon as they open, I'm not a big I'm not going to buy another Kraton.
Right.
I will probably buy the Outcast because I love that platform.
Yeah.
I love my 8S Outcast. I like my 6S Outcast. I like the 4S Outcast. My Kraytons, I mean, they're okay. I have every one of them, but like you said, I only ran this Kraton, I think 3 or 4 times. I've ran the Outcast way more.
Watching how you drive in your videos, you definitely like to be able to hit the jumps and do backflips
right away.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for the stability.
With those Kraytons, it's like, even when I took out the Big Rock yesterday, between the Big Rock and the Granite, because that's basically the Outcast on the 3S line. That's the Outcast and basically the thing there, the Kraton. And I actually had a slight hesitation when I took the Big Rock out because the Granite was handling that new jump just amazing. And I thought to myself, am I really going to destroy the Big Rock? You have to watch the video later today to find out. Did the Big Rock just
tomorrow, because you dropped a video today.
Did I?
I thought you dropped one this morning, the same time I did.
Oh, that's right. All right, for tomorrow, there's going to be a video.
My video's down because there was a download error, but
oh man.
Yes, I enjoy the long wheelbase for a stable road car for speed runs, road factor.
Yeah.
But for bashing, I like the short wheelbase.
Yep.
I'm a short wheelbase type of guy.
Yep. Now but as far as the sledge goes, the sledge is basically tracked.
It's a Kraton.
Kraton, right?
Yep. I just have more air control with that thing.
Did I just call it a Traxxas Kraton? Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Hey, mine was for my Kraton was a sledge there for a while.
Yep. Yep. John wants you to do a video when you go to your LHS.
Earl, do a video when you go to your local hobby shop. A video of what?
Just a view.
Oh, okay. I did it for the ever swap meet. I went over there. Yeah. I walked through the whole place.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is that you got to remember that, it might be boring to you to bring a camera in and be like, oh, hey, check it out behind the counter. Can't really do anything with it. But that's sometimes people want to see that.
I agree.
Yeah.
They just, like I did when I was in there for the swap meet, they were blasting music and that kind of stuff. So it makes it kind of difficult when there's a lot of people there and there's music on.
Yeah.
But, if I'm definitely going to be going down there. So
yeah,
I'll bring a camera and video it.
Let's see. Short wheelbase lasts longer. Paul Clancy, he is actually I know for a fact that he likes his Arrma Granite. I remember I've seen a few posts from Paul. Yep. And I think that's where Earl might have a little bit of a bad taste in his mouth when it comes to that word Kraton, is because, and this is only what I'm thinking in my mind, is that you took an 8S Kraton that was supposed to be the biggest, baddest thing ever created, and after a couple of recommendations, you turned it into the heaviest thing ever created.
Yep.
That seemed to constantly break because of its additional weight.
Every time I ran it, I would break something.
Yep.
Either a control arm, a wing, something.
Yep.
And I was bringing the X-Max as backups every time I took that thing out.
And then the EXB put a bad taste in your mouth. The Kraton EXB.
Those two RCs cost a lot of money.
It's unfortunate. Yep.
I mean, we weren't even told by Arrma that we were going to sit on our EXB diffs for 6 months.
RC Steve, appreciate that. Love both Earl and Guy's videos. He wants a video of you pre-ordering the Kraton. He ain't gonna do it.
I don't, because I just pick up the phone and call them, and when they come in, they come in. But you know, if they happen to get a demo model, then I'll call them up and go borrow it from them.
Yeah,
so,
I've heard of this, the 3D RC TPU material, those 3D printed. I've heard that those 3D printed mounts for the Kraton are really good. It's because the material he uses.
TTK equals Traxxas Tune Kraton.
That's terrible. Nice. Yeah. Yeah,
but even those 3D printed wing mounts, look what's going on with the sledge. The wing mounts are twisting so bad, it makes it look like the whole RC is broken.
Yeah.
They never break, they just get all twisted up and out of shape.
Yeah, so Joe RC Garage likes I like what I see, but I'm not the biggest fan of the slipper clutch bashers. I prefer Senative, but understand it has to hit a certain price. Thoughts? I'm actually
I mean the Traxxas what is that, Slash? They don't come with center differentials, they come with slipper clutches.
The question is will the slipper clutch, at least based on this question that this guy put in here, now that the vehicle is 17% bigger or 16%, depending upon which vehicle you get, is the current slipper clutch going to be hammered that much more? You just put additional weight in there. Do you know what I mean?
Well, on the looks of it, it looked like a new slipper clutch.
Yeah, I can't tell.
It's definitely not the Mega one that came in the Vendetta, because the nut's not on there.
I tried sliding back.
It didn't look like the older one to me.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if I shared this with you or not, but you guys got to go check out. I don't know if I can put the link in here.
No free rides. I always pop on. I pop on Deontay's lives every now and then, RC Guy. I keep telling everybody I just don't show my face in the videos because I'm talking about RC. I don't know. Not embarrassed.
Now, granted, this is going to be a...
Thank you guys for all that you do.
Copy.
Watching on my break. Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
So this link right here is obviously to Facebook, but and it should be able to post. But this guy right here, he's from, I think, Germany. He's across the pond.
Uh-huh.
But some of the parts that he's pumping out really seem to be of a good quality. And I did purchase, I think it's a...
That's the 3D RC guy, right?
No, this is a different one. This guy is making parts for platforms that we don't have here, but he's also making parts for some of the 3S line. they look to be really good quality. And I ordered a brand new designed slipper clutch for the 3S line through this guy. So I'm going to check it out and see if it's any good. It seems like, again, it's that thing, kind of like the jump pack. Looks great on paper. You know what I mean? Until you get it in your hands and start using it, you never know.
Barry King, I agree. Why worry about a center diff when everybody packs them full of earplugs and putty?
Yeah,
I agree.
Yep.
You're trying to, then that's where a slipper clutch, you just lock it down.
Yep.
But if you want axles and center drive shafts and that kind of stuff to last, you just let it slip a little bit.
Yep.
You
have to, and it's like, why?
It's a turn of a screw rather than take it apart and put some fluid in it.
Well, those slipper clutch pads, just like a clutch, it's material that's supposed to wear out.
Yeah. I even on my slashes, I've never worn them out.
Yep.
I usually end up breaking something before that happens.
Earplugs is the way to go. Yeah. You actually, what vehicle didn't you added just an earplug to something? You kept the fluid in it, but you also just added an earplug, didn't you? That was you.
That was Chef Beardsley to his sledge.
Chef. Okay. Was that with the sledge?
Yeah, he did it with the sledge.
Did that work out?
He took it back out. Well,
he did.
He tried to put it back. It was too locked up for him.
Right.
I think he might have put 2 in there and took 1 out, or left a half of 1 in there.
I can't remember what he did.
Yeah, I did. Did I add some 20 million to mine? I might have.
Yeah, because he ended up taking it out though, right?
I think he ended up taking it out and putting the 20 million back in it.
Because he had a negative effect.
Yes.
And that's
he didn't have the control like he had when he first ran it, I think.
And that's where sometimes, and I know people get all bent out of shape when you talk about Traxxas and you talk about the price and being okay with it, but Traxxas really does put a heck of a lot into design, into thought. Traxxas is a company that I think is always going to be around. They seem to try to make positive moves consistently. Not just throwing something out there and letting the masses test it out for them.
Yeah.
And nothing's perfect, but.
Jeremy Stewart, that's why I always leave a little bit of fluid in with the earplugs or a little bit of 20 million. I don't do it dry with just earplugs in there because it will heat up the gears and you'll break some of them if you want it to slip. But the whole purpose of the earplug is to lock it up with just a little movement. That's why you use the earplugs. And
you're also putting a lot of stress on those components when you lock it up like that.
Especially with a plastic diff housing. It puts a lot of stress on the bolts and the housing itself.
Now, you remember the old way of motor oil where if you ran 10W30 and as your motor aged, you would slowly switch over to like 2050. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now they call it high mileage oil.
Right, but why was that?
To take up the gap in the bearings.
Compensation, right.
Yeah, the weak oil pump, the slop in the bearings, the sloppy oil rings. Yep.
So taking a brand new vehicle right now that's probably got just synthetic oil that is from the factory now, just change oil. When you get a brand new car, just change your oil out to like gear lube and see what happens. You're not going to have a happy day putting 90 weight gear lube inside of that motor. That thing is not going to be happy. And it's the same thing. You have to expect that when you do put earplugs, when you do all of the stuff that sometimes goes outside the boundaries, it's not everything, but it goes outside the boundaries, you're putting a certain amount of additional stress everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, with you and getting those recommendations with, you've got to M2C the crap out of this thing, and then you'll never have another breakage. And then look what happened. It ended up transferring all of the flex, all of everything to arms, the additional weight.
Arms, wings, bodies.
Mangled. Yep.
And that's
Engine
where
shop
Eric is
block.
asking the question, Earl and Guy, is the Kraton 4S better for the Kraton 8S on durability? I mean,
You wouldn't know.
yeah, 8S, anything that's heavier, you know, it's hard to say. You know, you send something 40 feet in the air,
You know, it's been
they
even
both could break.
even there's so many
One's just going to be more expensive than the other to repair.
there's so many variables too. Even the thing
Yep.
that I found out where it's recommended if you drive a RC car to use a hard case pack lipo battery.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the best choice because the soft pack is going to not damage at least the plastic chassis in these Arrma 3S vehicles. I found that out with my Big Rock. Every time that chassis slapped, that hard pack was busting through the chassis. So you got to put foam. You know what I mean? You got to do something to protect or cushion it.
Frank is saying 4S versus 8S, apples to oranges. That's pretty much what it is, comparing apples to oranges. It's hard to compare any size class RC to a different size class RC.
Actually, I think we're talking watermelons to grapes.
Yes, that's kind of like, you know, the X Max versus the 8S Arrma line.
Right. Yep.
Believe it or not, the X Max is not a fifth scale.
Or even trying to compare, if you want to talk Traxxas, go ahead and take the Max V2 and then put it up against the Sledge, which is going to be better. You know what I mean? It's like each vehicle's designed.
And people were asking me to do that on the last video when I had the Kraton versus the Sledge. They said, what about the Max?
Yep.
And I'm like, well, that's a smaller RC.
You know what's funny though? I get some of these. That's a very valid question to you though, because you have both of the vehicles. I think what the people are looking for is they're looking for you to take that vehicle, take the V2, have the Sledge, have the two side by side hitting the same jumps, getting your viewpoint about how the Sledge handles this jump versus the V2 Max handling it.
Yeah, but you know this guy. You've ever grabbed, say, a fifth scale and then go in and grab the Big Rock.
Right.
And try to drive that and jump that right.
Right.
It's so hard to do a fair comparison when you're switching between two different manufacturers, let alone two different size vehicles.
Yeah.
Because Traxxas drives way different than Arrma drives.
And I think you mentioned it recently. I think it was when you were driving the Sledge. I think you mentioned the fact that having so many vehicles, sometimes you forget how to drive the one that you've got in your hand.
I was crashing the X-Max off every jump.
You almost have to relearn what the vehicle needs. And that's why I laugh sometimes when people say, Guy, you don't know how to drive. I'll agree with you. Yeah, you're right. I don't know how to drive. I'm just out here to have fun. But when you drive so many different types of vehicles, sometimes you get used to how something rotates. It doesn't just automatically snap back into your mind, right away as soon as the remote's in your hand.
And that's why I tell people before you try to hit 100 miles an hour with an RC, you know what? Start out with the 3S. Start out with the 4S. Yep. Even if you've used the 6S and gone 100 miles an hour, when I get there during the day, I start out with a small pack and make some runs just to get used to it.
Yep.
Because I'm bashing all week long. So you just kind of want to get used to that RC.
And you've even keyed in on that in some of your speed runs, is that you've used another Limitless to get your jitters out, going back and forth just to run. Just to get something to get yourself back in the mode of, this is how this vehicle is going to somewhat react, because the other vehicle I know is faster, but this one is tuned the same. I'm going to get those couple of runs and
Yep. And then if I'm not feeling it, I won't run the fast car that day.
Yep.
If I'm crashing everything that's slower, I'm not going to take out the fastest car and go total it.
I still envision the chain link fence crash that you had.
Oh, man.
I still see that.
We were out there for hours looking for that battery.
Yep.
I just could not leave a lipo that possibly could be damaged sitting in that field out there.
No.
We have too many fires in California.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So no free rides is asking, are you going to keep speed running on the Sentin?
I definitely am. That's why I called it the impossible speed run car.
Yep.
It is going to be difficult, but it can be done. It's just a car. It's just an RC. Eventually, it'll come to a limit, but I just don't know what that limit is.
Yep.
And I want to find out because and that's the whole thing. I'm having a blast. Some people say, you know, well, why are you taking this car and doing that with it? It's not designed for that. Isn't that human nature? Human nature is to push boundaries.
We do it with everything.
Yeah, everything.
People take the Typhon and turn it into a speed car.
Yep.
Extended Typhons, all that stuff.
Yeah, what's his name there? He's got the little movable wing.
Yes, Innovation RC.
Yeah, Innovation, yep.
He's got jetpacks on one too.
Yeah, right. Yep. Speed cars are better with closed wheel than with open wheel. Well, ultimate speed, yes.
And depending on aerodynamics, because if it's a slash, it's just a big sail. We found the bug bodies with the open wheels were easier to do speed runs with. Jumping is better with open wheels. That's not necessarily true.
No. I actually take the Mojave. Take the Mojave, what that thing will go through.
Or the Sentin.
Yep. Yep.
Look
Mojave,
how many times you crashed at speed running and haven't broke it.
I know. I expect something to be broken and I come up to it and it's like, nope. Wow.
Yeah, if that was an open wheel, the wheels would be hanging on.
Yep. Yep.
And I think that's what saves the Mojave. We run into so much stuff and we tumble it that the body saves it.
I think the one random time that I snapped a suspension arm off with my Mojave was only because of the type of jump, or should I say landing. It landed on a fallen tree that had a branch sticking up, and that branch just happened to be right where the wheel was and ripped it off. Other than that, that Mojave had been that thing went through a tough life. That really did. That thing took so many tumbles and crashes without breakage.
Frank Sluga says, Guy Earl, it doesn't matter what size RC I run. I'll still record backwards.
Okay, you're confused on that, right?
I am. I'm just assuming that it's like mine. I filmed it upside down or something like that.
Pretty close.
Yep.
Frank, for some reason, right? And I don't think even he realizes or figures it out. There are so many times when he's got his phone connected to his remote, he presses record and it's recording his feet or his crotch.
Oh, nice.
And you hear the car going back and forth. You see him, he's doing all the ducking and it's a riot. He's done it a ton of times. He posts the videos on the Facebook group there.
Yep.
So it's.
I mean, we have a lot of footage we throw away too.
Yep. Yeah, and we also have a lot of footage that we never record.
Yes, we think we're recording, but we've snapped a picture instead.
Yeah, like the 73 on the Sentin speed run.
Yes.
Oh, I can't believe the fastest run that it did, and I wasn't recording with the GoPro. Oh,
hey, but you had the GPS screenshot of it though.
Yes, you could hear the phone recording the excitement. Yes. That was about it. Nitro, what's going on, guy?
Let's see, my Mojave doesn't jump as good as my Outcast. No, the wheels are small.
Right. Yeah, you had brought that out too. Is that I think you were doing a comparison between the Kraton and the Mojave, and one of the things that you said that they're different terrain vehicles, kind of like the difference between the Kraton and the Outcast. They're designed for a different terrain. Kraton, you can get a little bit more speed out of. The Outcast is going to start to wheelie at that ultimate speed that the Kraton would be going at, or it's going to flip.
Mojave's the same way.
Yep. You were talking about the high centering. That when you took from your Kraton and you took your Mojave on the same terrain, your Mojave was high centering, causing issues with drivability just because of that.
Yes.
So
sandy areas, that kind of stuff.
Yep. All I remember is when I took that Mojave out for its first run. I can't tell you how many times I just said, "Oh my god!" Like just how fast it was, how the tumbles. It
No
didn't.
free rides. I think me and Guy did that already. Guy developed that windshield for the Mojave. I copied him because he was getting faster speeds than I was.
Right. But also Earl's on 8S with that thing. And that's, or even if he only puts a 6S battery in his Mojave, it's inherently going to be faster just because of the fact that you're allowed or able to pump the energy from that battery through the ESC to the motor that much more efficiently.
And that's how we proved it with the 6S ESCs and these 3S lines.
Yep.
Is that even on 3S, 4S, like Guy did, he's getting some amazing speeds.
Yep.
And I haven't seen a 6S one through him yet, but
yep.
I'm assuming that's coming soon.
Yep. Just the difference, just the change in the ESC, the speed numbers from the original 3S to that 6S were phenomenal.
Yes.
Just that was a lot. And that's that garden hose theory.
Because I thought you were thinking 7 miles an hour, and it was a lot more, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, actually, it was only a couple more miles per hour, but it still proved the theory.
Yes, that the amps hose make a difference.
Right. It's kind of like if you try to water your garden, with a fire truck hose versus, a little 5/8 hose, from your garden. What's going to water better, Fire hose is going to cause more damage. And so does an E6S ESC.
Yeah, try filling your radiator up with a fire hose versus a garden hose.
There you go. Yep. Might have a little bit of an issue.
Might have a little bit of issue. It might not start afterwards.
I do have to say, though, when I pull Big Black into the diesel store, I do like going to the semi-fuel.
Yeah. Those things are filling 100 gallons in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. I'm over here. I'm basically, when I fill up at a regular pump, I can walk around. I can check the oil. I can check.
That's why they put those TVs there so you can watch a movie.
I can wash all my windows, and then all of a sudden it clicks off. But yeah, I remember the first time I filled up at a truck stop. I was like, I put that thing in there. I pulled the trigger, and it was like the pump almost wanted to come out, and I was like, this is nice. It filled up so fast.
This guy's asking if the 2-wheel drive Rustler chassis and the 4-wheel drive Rustler chassis, is there a difference in length? There's a big difference in length. The 4-wheel drive is a little longer.
And Earl's the guy to know that answer.
But I do like how Traxxas did on their 2-wheel drive line, put all the new transmissions in it, did the whole revise of their whole 2S line. I'm really thinking about getting another 2-wheel drive Rustler.
Josie, this was originally about the 4S line drop, but this is a live, and this is the way it always works.
We're trying to decide on how many people are going to order both of them or one of them, or are we going to wait to see some videos on it to see if it's worth getting?
Right. For the first hour, we usually will key in on all of that stuff, and then it just veers off. Robbery at the gas pump. Yeah, a lot of people are feeling that. Right, Black Sheep right there. Yep, the new Arrma 4S line. Yep.
Yep.
Fire hose is definitely a crowd pleaser, though.
That had to be Frank.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, wouldn't you know that? Yep. Yep.
Earl or Guy getting one? I am going to get the Outcast.
Right. And I don't say anything on lives because my wife watches. That's an easy one for me to say.
Yep.
I don't say anything on this anymore because my wife watches the shows. Time for some 4S videos, right? I gotta say, man, what's funny is right here. RC Steve saying time for 4S videos. There's two vehicles that I've been thinking. Granted, this isn't a 4S vehicle, but I need to take my Losi SBR back out, because that's a vehicle that I am able to put batteries that I've actually found batteries that actually fit that thing, which is great. But I thoroughly miss driving my DB Pro. That thing, because that thing is on 4S now, that thing is an absolute just, it really is. When it's in good running order, that Losi DB Pro is a great, great little vehicle. It really is.
I like the Max V2.
I think I actually got, what's his name, sold on the DB Pro. What's his name? Deontay. Pretty sure he bought the DB Pro from one of the videos that I had done.
I know I bought my DB Pro because of your videos.
Yeah, it is a great vehicle. It really is.
Yep. It's low C quality.
John.
But it comes with that low C price tag.
How about a 6S Max V2? People have done it already. Yep. DB Pro is awesome, right? Absolutely. Where'd that comment go? Right there. Garage Life, you did too. Losi, you better be paying attention here. We got people buying RCs because they saw my video here. So, oh, nearsighted time traveler. What is going on? Haven't been able to run RCs in a few months. That's rough, man. Yep.
It's okay. Just watch RC Guy Garage. He'll be doing some speed runs. I'm rooting him on. Yeah.
I am having a blast. That's why I said, I did the words, you know what I mean? If you haven't tried it, try it. And I think I coaxed slightly Chef Beardsley to want to go ahead and try speed stuff. And when he got that infraction, you saw every single video for a while he was doing was infraction because he loved the speed. I mean, he burned that thing down to the ground almost. Remember that? He almost burned that thing down to the ground. That's because he forgot and left the speed pinion in it.
Yep. Frank, the way I feel about the 4S line is, it's cheaper to repair. So, if you can get out there like the Big Rock and beat on it all day long and you don't break anything, that's a good day.
Black Sheep converted the Losi Tenacity DB Pro, put it through the aluminum chassis shock towers, all that good stuff from the DB Pro, maybe. Yes, so you made your Tenacity to the DB Pro, yeah. Yeah. The only one flaw that I ever found with mine were, and I had just started telling people that I just recommended putting Loctite on the shock nuts, nuts, because mine were backing off. That was it. And then some people were smoking the rear diff input bearing, but I never did, and I've thoroughly beat on mine. I think it's just sometimes you just get bad stuff. You get bad bearings. You get bad whatever. Like your fire team. Didn't your fire team blow out a bearing like within a couple of battery packs?
The first battery pack, it blew out a left front bearing. Yep.
Tyson King.
Sid says, dude, you're killing it on the last video. Keep it up, RC Guy Garage.
What, on the speed runs?
He just says your last video. Your last one was bashing in the backyard, wasn't it?
Oh, right. Yep.
Could be the speed runs.
It could be, yeah. Sid, not sure which video you're talking about. Because not everybody, what's funny is like right here, Sid, he might not have got a notification with the way YouTube has been going, you know what I mean, of, a recent video. And all I can say to that is some people have like messaged me asking me why. And it's like, I have no idea. It's YouTube. Same thing with like comments. For the longest time, a lot of comments were getting cut and people were thinking like I was deleting comments. It's like, no, it's something.
I really feel it's YouTube controlling the algorithm. If
Yep.
you have, when you start getting 2, 3, 4,000 people that always come watch your videos, if they all pop on within the first hour, it starts making your video go viral. So I think what they're doing is they're slowing down who gets the notifications and putting them out in that small group so they don't get a false video going viral.
Yep.
So that they don't start recommending it through their computer saying, hey, this guy's going viral. Let's throw him in every Food Network out there. You know what I mean?
Food Network, right?
So I and that's what I'm chalking it up to, because me and Guy have been talking about the algorithm and how things have changed the last 6 months now.
Right. Yeah, a lot. There's actually a lot of things that have changed. Little tweaks that YouTube has been doing to seemingly improve things, but there's always that. There's always glitches. Whenever you change something, there might be an unforeseen glitch that happened with that change that you just couldn't see, and then eventually it shows up. And like with the stuff that we talk about.
Yep.
YouTube. Yep.
Yeah, I might have married a Puerto Rican star. I clicked on the wrong link.
Yep.
From a comment. So, wish YouTube would get that stuff under control. Bars and Tone, what's up, everyone?
BT, what's going on, man? North Carolina, what's going on, John? So here we go right there. So what's everybody's opinion on the 4S cars then? I'd have to relay over that over to you. What's your opinion on the 4S cars, not the ones now, because you can't really, there's nothing to say on the 4S cars. Like if somebody was to ask you, hey, what about the 4S Outcast and Kraton they just released? How is it? It's like, I have no idea.
I have no clue.
But based upon your opinion from the ones that you did own,
I mean, I like the 4S line better than I like the 3S line when they first came out. But I had to drop down to the 3S line and convert my 3S stuff to 4 and 6S because we couldn't buy the 4S line no more.
Right.
So I was just overpowering the 3S line, making it like the 4S line. I think you get to a point, at least I did, to where I don't run a lot of 2S. I can't remember the last time I ran a 2S was in the drag car just because to get a speed time.
Yeah.
But I don't have fun running cars on 2S. Even on 3S, for me, it gets pretty boring. I'm like, 4S is kind of my minimum because I love the V2 Max on 4S, even the V1 on 4S.
Right.
I think 4S on up for me is the line that I like for my RCs.
Yeah, Bars and Tones is saying that his Kraton 4S had so many problems, and you even just pointed that out with your still leaking shocks, right? Did you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're still leaking.
Yep, and then the way he bashes, he was going through chassis left and right. Kind of like what you're going through right now, Guy, with your 3S line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what worries me on this new line is if that's the same style where rocks are getting jammed in there, even though it's longer, if it's the same style, are we going to have those same problems? Right. I'm glad to see the better shocks are on it, but we've been asking for that for 5 years now.
I'm assuming the steering components have got to be the same.
And is that hole still there? Because that's the hole that hole's there because the steering has to go through it.
Yeah. Yep. And I do believe the hole is still there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which means the rocks are going to jam up in there.
Yeah. Bars and Tones. I like the power to weight ratio, but the car just wouldn't hold together. Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but the repairs were cheap.
I think a lot of people were hoping for a 12S Limitless. I don't really see a manufacturer right now, like Traxxas or
I don't see
Arrma
Traxxas
or
doing a fifth
anybody.
scale anytime soon.
No, I don't think I see them doing 12S. I think that's way out of the bounds, I think, right now. Factory. Do you know what I mean? Offering something that's RTR that's 12S.
Well, I mean, that new Max, that Hobby Wing, what is it, the Max 4
Max
system or
4,
whatever?
right.
Yeah, it does 12S.
No. I'm talking about manufacturer like Traxxas or Losi.
Oh, yeah.
Or, right.
That's why we take everything that's 8S and convert it to 12S.
Yep.
Or everything that's 6S converted to 8S.
So how many of those 4S or Max 4s do you have on order, did you say?
I didn't buy one of them.
Oh, okay.
And it's not because, you know, I don't have a lot of 6S packs laying around to make 12S. I don't have a match set of batteries.
Yeah. Yep. You know, it's funny you say that. That's one of the drawbacks to the big Kraton and the Outcast that I've got and the X-Max is the fact of having two identically matched batteries to run that 8S. I came across one of my Z packs dropped a cell, and those are not cheap batteries.
Nope.
That's a 9,000 milliamp pack that dropped a cell that is now junk.
Yeah, and I think that's why you run a lot of 3S and a lot of 4S line is because you have the batteries to run those things.
Yep. The batteries are, everything about it is inexpensive, but don't get your mind skewed about things because there are certain levels of things with everything.
Yep.
You've got the 3S line, that's going to be in its own price category. Batteries are going to be cheaper. Everything's going to be cheaper about it. So is the quality. Then you're going to step up into that 4S line. It's going to give you potentially a little bit more expensive batteries because it has more capability. The parts are going to be more expensive because they're going to take the abuse more. The longevity is going to be that much potentially longer. And then the same thing with the 6S and the same thing. You know what's funny is that between the 6S and the 8S, I'm starting to see a longevity issue where it seems like the 6S stuff is lasting about the same amount as the 8S stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? Like
I do. The 8S line from Arrma and even Losi, you jump it enough and that whole RC takes its toll. The weight destroys those things.
Yep. It's that this is an odd, it's kind of like an odd relation to it, but you take water, okay? Water has the same type of, almost no matter what you do. You just get a glass of water, it's going to react the same way. Doesn't matter what size cup you put it in, the water acts the same way. So the water is almost like the molecules of plastic or the molecules of metal. There's only so much that plastic can withstand. So you've got a vehicle that's, a 3S. Let's say you get a 6S plastic vehicle. There's only so much that plastic can conform to on 6S versus 3 or 4S. You know what you get? Like, I know it's.
I get what you mean, and that's why when people always ask me, Earl, how long did your battery last? Like Sid's asking right now, how long before it dropped a cell?
Right.
Well, that's not what you should be asking.
Right.
How many crashes did that RC have before it dropped that cell?
How many times did I leave it charged for a month?
Yes, or how many times I charged it up and it sat in the trunk of a hot car.
Yep. There are too many variables sometimes.
There's way too many variables to now if you get a battery pack, you charge it up fully, you go out and run it, you come home, you charge it up again, and it's dropped a cell, it's a bad battery. Simple as that.
Even HRB batteries in the very beginning of my channel, I was on board with HRB because HRB seemed to be a good battery. I slowly started to realize that they're no different than any other battery manufacturer. Like with most things, you go to Sears, you go to Home Depot, you go to Lowe's to go buy your refrigerator or your washer or your dryer, the same manufacturer is making all three of those washers for the same, for all three of those different people that have their names on their refrigerators or whatever. You're still getting the same components. You got the one manufacturer making them all. They just make little minor changes. One's going to say Kenmore.
And lipo's a lipo. It's all on the manufacturer who solders them together, the material they use, the insulation plates in between them, how good they pack their battery. So, I mean, the cell's a cell. So,
it's how also well you treat the cell.
Yeah, and none of us treat our batteries any good. None of us.
No. So,
If you go by the way the manufacturer suggests that you charge, store, handle, I don't know anybody that does any of what the manufacturer says.
Not every time.
Come on, that's like taking somebody that, I'll say Chevy right now. Chevrolet is not going to, tell you, they're not going to tell you can't do burnouts, but they're not going to tell you to do a burnout with your car, but people are going to do it. You're going to do it because it's that human nature. You want that thrill, you want that excitement, but GM is also going, yeah, you know what? We're not going to go ahead and warranty that out for you because the computer says that those wheels were spinning for about a mile before your engine blew up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, there's too many things that we take things outside the boundaries. Like, what was it? RPM. And their warranty used to be, or thought was, warranted or whatever for life. And you ended up finding out with your X-Max, it was the arms you replaced, or was it the arms? Something you jumped at Sandy Butt Crack. It was the X-Max, right?
Yeah, that was from RPM.
Yes,
arms
RPM.
that are supposed to be, they were the hubs.
Right.
Those brand new hub release with the big bearings on it.
But what was their determination? If you jumped it over 6 feet.
That any jumping over 2 feet on any RC, well, on an X-Max, you have to follow the manufacturer's recommendation. And they said that Traxxas on the X-Max says it's not recommended to jump higher than 2 feet.
Right.
Now, I couldn't find that phrase anywhere. I called Traxxas on it, but that's what the CEO of RPM told me.
I think an X-Max just naturally jumps 2 feet by accident.
It does.
You could do nothing, and the X-Max is more than 2 feet in the air.
Yes.
So there's some oddities there.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, my first SPEKTRUM battery right here. So 423 RC. For a noob me, I have one 3S5000 SPEKTRUM that he's ran for a year last month. It does take a bit longer to charge now, but still gets more than right. So even like car batteries don't last as long as they used to either. Nowadays, what is a car battery warranted up to 3 years?
I mean, they still have the same warranty, 2, 3, 4, 5 year warranties.
Right.
But after a year, they're prorated.
Yep.
So, and no manufacturer expects a battery to last past, a year and a half.
No.
They just figured when they prorate it, you're going to pay the cost of the battery anyway.
Yeah.
But you guys got to remember, it's just like a golf cart or any battery. A battery has a charge cycle, which means when you fully charge it, when you discharge it, it only has, say, 100 charges in that battery. And then that battery's no good. Whether you charge it when it, fully charged to fully dead and then charge it, that's usually the best way. But if you're constantly going from a full charge to a half a charge and then back up to a full charge, that still counts as a charge. And batteries will get a memory, and they'll burn out if you don't drain them to the proper voltage.
Yep.
And that's the same thing with the lipo.
NiCads used to be a wicked pain because they would get cell memory. So if you didn't fully discharge that battery, you actually had to cycle those. I remember that. You had to cycle those batteries. Did I ever? Very seldomly would I ever really cycle those batteries.
And that's why like Snap-on puts these battery things that tell you how much power's in them. Right. They tell you to drain these fully and then fully charge them. These are LiPo batteries. Yep. It's the same thing as our LiPos. That's why putting them in storage charge when you come back for a run, so all the cells are even and at the same charge is good for it. Because when you're done running, you got one cell that's, 310, one that's 340, one that's 302. I mean, the cells are all over the place. You kind of want to balance that. Let it cool down, balance that pack out, and store it in a cool, dry place till the next time you need it. Yeah. Now, a lot of people say, I don't storage charge because I'm going to run my battery in a week. But that battery sat there with every cell at a different voltage. And that's what kills cells in a battery.
Yep.
Let me close this window.
Yeah, I've got to tell you that, as far as batteries go, I definitely do not follow any manufacturer's recommendations. That's not the way to do it. It's really not. Just like any RC car you run. This manufacturer recommendations probably on things, but I don't crack the owner's manual, so I never know.
No, and even if you follow the manufacturer's suggestions, they're not always going to warranty stuff.
You use the right word. It's a suggestion.
Yes. Let's see.
Black Sheep, we'll see you later, man. Slow discharge, right. Black Sheep, we got you, man.
Frank. Yep.
Gen's Ace.
I have Gen's Ace that do well, and I have Gen's Ace that fail quickly.
Yep.
I've got a bunch of them.
Yep. Even those Ovonic packs that I run, nothing is perfect. I have the 7600 series of batteries. I thought it was just a fluke that the battery puffed. It's in a hard case. My 7600 Ovonic pack, it's the only battery that I've ever had a problem with through Ovonic, and I definitely mistreat my batteries. But for some reason, something about that 76 caused the case to crack. And I thought it was a fluke until the second battery did the same exact thing. And then that made you realize that, okay, something about this 7600, wherever they either had it made or the certain cells or a certain run of cells, something was bad about something. Because it's only that 7600.
With Traxxas's warranty, 50% to replace it for life, you're paying the cost of any other manufacturer that's going to sell you a battery, an ESC, or a motor. Traxxas warranty prices they consider their electronics more expensive than anybody else's. So yes, you're paying 50% of the list price of that product, but you can buy a hobby wing or a off-name battery pack that's going to do better.
Right.
And it's really, if you read the Traxxas warranty, it's not really a warranty. They call it an insurance policy now.
Yeah, you read that. You actually read that information. Yep.
Yes, because they were saying lifetime warranty on ESCs and motors, and I guess it bit them. Yeah. So now I don't know when they changed it. It's an insurance policy that you can cash in and you don't have to pay for until you need it. You call them up, send them the part, and they'll send you a reconditioned or a fixed one.
You know what's funny is that kind of brings up the same thing that somebody had made a complaint over the fact that I was becoming the warranty king. And the thing is that in the vehicle's price, you are paying for that warranty. So if you don't make use of it, depending upon your There are people that abuse warranties and use warranties. There are times when it doesn't make any sense for me to go after something for warranty because I know full well that I abused and destroyed it.
Yeah, but there's times you've unboxed stuff and ran it once or twice and the motor bearings go out.
And that's
or the
what
steering
that's there
servo
for.
goes out on the second pack.
And
or
that's
the
what that's
remote
there for, right?
or the remote doesn't have the tab soldered in it and you can't even use it.
Because why?
So you had a run there to where, and that's where we were talking about quality control, is that Arrma had a bad run of just crap.
Yep.
I hate to say it. And you got to the point where I remember you spent about $5,000 in a month on RCs. And you had a bunch of RCs showed up.
Were you crazy? My wife is watching.
$5 on RC.
$5 and something cents. Right?
Well, they were all promos. They were all donated, but $5,000 worth of stuff.
There you go.
Showed up, and everything was breaking. And for you to not only spend that money, have to go back and now buy products for everything. And I know it wasn't just him; it was everybody. Right. Thanks, Bars and Tone, for that. That's awesome.
Bars and Tones. I didn't even see that. Sorry, man.
But that's the thing, and you cashed it in all at once for like 5 or 6 RCs.
Right.
I remember that big. It was like a Christmas day at your house.
And that's that thing where you just wait.
Yeah,
I just wait. It's just sometimes to do the one just doesn't make any sense, especially if you know there's a potential of others that are right there. So
yes, and I remember sitting on the phone for an hour and a half to get a warranty. You might as well give them a group of them.
Yeah. Yep. You might as well make it worth it.
Make it worth that phone call. Now you can't even call him. Thanks, guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently that's all because of me.
Yep.
Yeah. Horizon cut off their phone. This guy's killing us.
This guy's got us on a live stream doing these phone calls and videos for hours.
Here. Let's see. RC Junkie. It's the internal connection tabs have deteriorated in lipos. Nothing we can do, right? And there's also nothing we can ever do about other than, and I hate to say complain, but sometimes that's the reason why things change, is that if nobody says nothing about any of the issues, like with Earl and, the fire team, the big thing was he wasn't out to, it wasn't him, trying to slam Arrma to the mats. It was, hey guys, if you go out and buy this truck, keep in mind, you've got to check the once was super Loctited screws now have 0 Loctite. So you're going to drive this thing. If you watch his video, you can hear the excitement, the thrill. He was having a blast with that thing. And you hear his attitude change. He flips the truck over, and he still has a good attitude. He flips the truck over, and he's looking at stuff, and all of a sudden he sees one screw is already missing, and one screw is hanging out by a 1/2 inch. And you hear it. It was the ultimate, disappointment, here we go. Here we go again. Because I'm sure he was remembering his Outcast, which was bleeding out of every differential and shock. And that was out of the box. The thing was bleeding all over.
And I never got reimbursed for any of that.
Right. That's bad.
I ended up fixing it myself. And at that point, it had been 8. That the fire team was going to make it 9 RCs in a row that everyone had some sort of defect right out of taking it out of the box.
Yeah. The only saving grace was that damn Big Rock. That thing was great. That thing.
Yeah, but when did the Big Rock come out? 3 years ago.
Hit the 80-foot jump. It went to the 80-foot jump and survived, kind of.
Yeah. I went full trigger into a brick wall.
Earl was trying to kill the.
I was trying to break it.
He was actually trying to kill it, and I love that.
Yep, and it held through.
He was doing the backflips off of. You were doing the backflips off of the
cement wash.
A spillway, right? Isn't that like?
Yeah, it was the cement wash.
Yeah.
It was the embankments to the wash.
Yeah. Trying to kill it, and it was it was laughing. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yep.
Yeah. And then but then again though, like right now, the video that's coming out tomorrow. Earl corrected me. The video that's coming out tomorrow on the Big Rock, it actually does talk about at what point does the RC get to that point to where you know what? I have actually had so many smiles for miles that I want to rejuvenate that with a brand new one and start all over again and use my old one as the parts vehicle.
Yep. And that's what I'm hoping with this 4S line. Like you were talking about, there's levels. We know the 3S line at some point you need to replace the whole thing.
Yep.
But now we're at that price point, $470 for a 4S line.
Right.
So I know with my Vendetta, it was cheaper for me to replace it because to fix the front end damage was, I want to say, 3/4 of the cost of buying a new one.
Yeah, that was rough.
That's rough because now you have all these other parts that have now taken that same impact, even though they're not broken. Where are the cracks that I'm missing? The stuff I didn't see.
Right now, okay, you just hear that beep that came in and went bing on my computer? That was the alert to your video right now that you put out this morning.
Well, that one I took down hours ago.
I know, but that's the alert right now.
Wow. The algorithm, they're trying to get me views on a video that's not there no more.
Black sheep, but right. Yeah, exactly. They're trying to get you views. Maybe it's still up. Maybe they're just raking in some income.
They might be.
Black sheep, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, I definitely have to find that screenshotted comment that person made. Was that they were disappointed in a way, but the whole point is he was negative about the 3S line, but he didn't realize that it was actually a positive experience. The 3S line got him into the hobby to where he not necessarily got addicted, but he enjoys it. The only negative was that he started to realize was the money he was putting in was costing him more. And that's the draw. Arrma with I think it's any manufacturer with those lesser vehicles, it's to get you there. It's to reel you in. It's to say you can repair it. But if you maybe go ahead and upgrade to that slightly better one, you'll have a longevity, a longer time running the vehicle. Parts may be a little bit more expensive, but it's that whole leveled or tiered thing. But that's literally with everything. It's with every car manufacturer. It's with every, car stereo or refrigerator or washer and dryer. You can get the basic washer that still just does this.
Yeah.
Or you can get the front load, but then the front load, we're having issues with the mold on the ring. It's crazy.
But the 3S line and the plastic pivot balls everywhere.
Yeah.
And we were putting the metal ones in there, but then realizing it's wearing out the arm anyway. Yep. But that's where Traxxas, I don't think Traxxas has any of their line has the plastic pivot balls in it.
Right.
Maybe their brushed line might. But everything comes with metal pine joints and everything that's in it, adjustable.
Yeah.
And that's just that's that step up you want to see in an RC for longevity. When you see the bolts going through plastic and travel, all the suspension is wearing over every bump. So you got to look at that stuff. You're not going to replace everything in it. Nope. What's that pivot ball kit? How many pieces is like a 32-piece kit?
14, I think it is.
14?
Yeah, for $12, I think it is. I think it's 14 for $12.
Yeah, because I know you got to take almost that whole RC apart to use every one of those pieces.
Yeah.
I tried. I stopped and just said, you know what, I'm going to do the links and I'll save the rest.
That's all I did. I just did the links and I'm just like,
Yep.
When I take something else apart, like obviously they replace the shocks, top and bottom.
That's the power of editing, guys, is that we just, hey, this is how you do it. Okay, blip. Video's over. Look, the RC's all fixed.
Yep.
Power of editing.
Yeah. The cost of fixing is why breakers exist. Yeah, exactly. Yep. To an extent, even parts breakers have learned, like Jenny's RC, you've got to be careful. I've even talked about, because initially I thought Jenny's RC was the greatest, place on planet because it was the RC chop shop that we needed. But then you had to watch out for certain things that, I guess there was a discount code that all these times that I ordered that I could have put in a discount code and gotten additional that everybody else was getting off, little discount code, but because of the way I was buying it and I didn't know, I didn't put the discount code in. Also, the shipping. Watch your shipping charges, because a lot of times the shipping charge versus what somebody else is charging with free shipping equals almost the same, within sometimes a couple of pennies. And then you get this guy over here, which he'll buy something that's $26, but then pay $40 in shipping so that he can have it, next day, which is absolutely nuts. But I get why he's doing it, because a number of reasons. The car is not going to sit there potentially losing parts. The cat jumps on the table and parts go flying everywhere. Just
the paper plate.
There's a lot of reasons. Yeah.
Frank, Mugen 1.8 Truggy is your definitely your toughest for sure. And let me explain something about a Mugen 1.8 Truggy. And you can say the same thing about Techno. Look at anybody racing the Truggy and Buggy classes. Do you realize they get a new car, a brand new car? Factory sponsored guys get a brand new car every 3 months. And most of them sell off their old car to people in the hobby and get good money for them, because it's a Mugen or it's whatever. It's the #1 RC winning races. There's a reason manufacturers sell those cars off after 3 months, because everything on it is pretty much wore out. Every control arm, every shock. It's just cheaper to replace the RC at that point, racing an event every weekend for 3 months. Now imagine what we do. We don't race. We just take it to a desert, beat on it. We don't take it to the pits, take it apart and service it. We just throw it in the corner, hose it off with a hose, and go out and beat on it again. You do that with a Mugen or a Techno or any of that stuff, the RC is going to be done in 6 months. Just the way it is, if you run once a week.
With you saying that brings up the reason why the Techno 410 wasn't going to be over here, because of what I watched you do based upon what people were telling you.
Yeah.
And then saw what your final, and I don't even know if you're done with that thing yet.
No, it's done.
What you spent
to go throw it off a cliff.
Right. For what you spent didn't equate for me for Smiles for Miles. It's just, I can take something that's less expensive, and yes, I might have to throw, a couple more dollars into buying links and buying this and buying that, but I don't feel that hit right away. That hit was huge. And when you first built it and did all the best of the best, there were still things that after you drove it, you realized, I got to change this out. I got to change this out next time. It's like, it seems to be no matter what you buy, it doesn't matter what Cadillac you buy, it doesn't matter what Maserati you buy, there's the potential to always have a flaw. There's also the potential to have upgrades. It's just like, sometimes it is just a Smiles for Miles. I can take my Trans Am and drive that. Would it probably feel great to hop into a Hurricane? Only Earl knows, but probably would. But
take Big Black. Big Black has served. And what did I tell you with Big Black when you called me because you're having some problems with it right now?
Yep.
Big Black has served you over 200,000 miles without worry-free, no issues.
It's an 06.
And now when you're looking into it, you're finding problems here, problems here, problems there, problems here. And it's adding up. And it's like, well, at what point do you get another one?
I feel like it's my Arrma 3S line right now.
Yes. And that's with the real vehicle. Yep. And that's the same thing with RC and anything else,
And I
is
gotta
that
tell
there
ya,
is a time limit.
I definitely feel like when I first bought it, I paid the Traxxas price.
Yep.
But right now, just because of age, and that's where I think the Big Rock is right now, just
Yes.
because of its age. And that's a great comparison. You know, it's
Now, do you buy the Big Rock?
right.
Because you've already experienced that model. Or
Yep.
do you buy the new 4S Outcast, or you
Yep.
buy the new 4S
Yep.
for a little bit more money?
Yep.
You see what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And that's where these upgrades for the 3S line has its place, the 2S line has its place, the Brush
Yep.
has its place, the 4S, 6S, they all have their place.
Yep.
So
Because
it's that price point and repairs that you got to look at.
and
And I'm hoping the 4S line is going to be great.
And like you're talking about right now, every manufacturer, no matter what it is, needs to have those levels to be able to supply
To everyone.
a lesser expensive vehicle for somebody that just wants to get into the hobby and go, I'm either going to like it or I'm going to love it or whatever. I'm going to spend this much money. And then you then maybe think, okay, maybe I'll get a 6S next time. Or maybe I'll get the 4S. I am actually really excited for more than normal. I'm excited for this 4S line because I seem to gravitate, and I don't know why, I seem to gravitate towards the 3S line of vehicles or those 3S vehicles because they're grab and go. When you're done with work, you just want to grab something real quick and go out in your backyard and not take like a 8S Kraton or a gas quarter scale. You know what I mean? It's like you just take that car and you rip it around. Now this 4S line is going to potentially give that person or me that ability to go, it's going to be a little bit more durable, slightly bigger. I won't have to make sure that I've got a long enough jump. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's going to be that one step up from my grab and go with that 4S line. I'm hoping.
Yeah. And you're not going to replace the Big Rock, right?
No, hell no.
Why would you?
Yep.
You've already experienced and had your fun with that RC.
You know that there's a Big Rock sitting in the box, right?
I thought you froze for a second. I was moving my head going, did the screen freeze?
I saw you move. Yeah. No, there is a Big Rock that's sitting in the box.
Well, there's a Vendetta. There's a Big Rock. Hey.
Yeah.
Mark my words, guy.
There's a couple things.
He's got every RC. He's probably got RCs that aren't even out yet sitting in the corner somewhere. I'm telling you guys.
We're doing a Tony thing here.
Yeah.
There's actually something that's in the background. You guys just can't see it, and that's why it looks like that.
That's why he won't show you the messy desk anymore, because it's
Right,
full of all these things you guys can't see no more.
And also the reason why Earl said he's on his Zoom call with no pants, because he doesn't want anybody to see what's under his chair right there.
Yes. No.
He's got all the latest, greatest, drops that no one else knows about, just sitting right under his table. He's doing the Tony.
Guy's got more brand new RCs sitting in the box. I don't save the boxes to any of my RCs. It'd be impossible. I tried. It would fill up my house 12, probably 2 times with boxes everywhere.
No, I think you're right. He'll fill it up 12 times.
No.
I don't know why, and I'm not a box keeper for anything. But
I keep the manuals.
For some strange reason, I actually have kept every box except for the first cars that I got, like my T-Max, my E-Revo, my E-Max. I didn't keep those boxes. But for some reason, since the Gen 7 crawler from Red Cat, when I basically got back into the hobby, that's when I basically got back in. Ever since then, I might have actually thrown that box away. But I think ever since that point, for some odd reason, I kept the boxes. Now, I don't know if it's because the thought was I'd have a box to put it in when I get rid of it.
I have no idea. I don't know. Come on, Earl. I know you've
Hey,
got.
you know
I
what?
know you've got parts from
I'm
your
past that.
BMWs.
I'm past that age to where I can't wait 40 years for it to be worth money and still have the box. I'm
Right.
not going to be here then.
Right, but
I'd rather have the room to buy more RCs.
I want to see inside. Let me open up the door to your garage there. I want to see, is that hood to the Beamer still there?
Nope, that's gone.
Oh, is it gone? No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised you let that go.
No, I stripped it of anything of value and threw it away.
Okay. What's happened is you've gotten to that age and you've realized just to get rid of stuff.
I needed the room for more RCs.
More RCs. Well, yep. I don't know. Collecting baseball cards, right?
Yep.
Yes, this is still going, Joe Mama. Yeah, we're just talking on just the regular thing.
Yep.
Hence the name RC Guy Garage, right? Yep. Yeah, RC Hoarder Garage is almost what it's turning into.
What's up? How are you, Earl? And
who's that?
I don't know who's that. Super Drake, what's going on?
Who's Tim?
I have no idea who that guy is.
That's who Tim is. Damn phone.
Arm Leaf. Dang phone. Joe Mama.
All right.
Well, I think we've done everything we can talk about.
That's basically what I was going to do. I was going to wrap it up. So, yeah, basically what we were doing is we were here just sharing the news that Arrma had finally, after, what's it been, 3 years?
Yeah, since they said they were just revising it and it'd be out in 6 months.
And the last couple of years, this 4S line between the Kraton is obviously up on the board right now. The Kraton and the Outcast 4S, it does appear to be that it's potentially a complete revision or really close to it. Maybe not 100% complete, but really close to it. And it looks to be a positive thing. But to ask questions like, what do you think about it? There's nothing to think yet. And even those first impressions are probably going to be great because it's a new RC. Usually that's the way it happens. It's when somebody's had something for a few months and they've actually really put it through some paces. And I think that's where you're going to see, hopefully, these RC channels start doing content more like that, to really, instead of just throw something out there and go, this is the latest, greatest, you better run out to the store and grab it. Be more informative, go through the vehicle, really get some packs into it, really put it through, some torture tests or whatever, check into quality control. That's a big thing with Earl. A lot of discoveries with Earl is always about the attention to details. So even when you want to talk about his event, he's got 2 vendettas. And he said it, his first vendetta out of the box was mint, which made him buy his second vendetta. It was so good. Arrma basically kind of rejuvenated that feeling in him to go, you know what? I'm getting this other one. And his other one out of the box, you had what? 1 or 2 wheels were bent to the point of you can't even use them.
1 tire that wasn't even usable, so I had to order new tires right out of the box.
Yep. And that's frustrating because he went from his effectively a perfect RC. You've got to be kidding me. Arrma, you're smashing it. To then all of a sudden, oh God, here we go again.
Back to quality control.
So, and that happens with everything, but
it does.
If
it happened with the sledge tires, was it the sledge? One of them, I had to re-glue them.
Yeah, it was the sledgehammer tires, I think.
On the X-Max, that's right.
And it's just, it's not that, any of us are really kind of downing these companies. It's not. It's, if nobody says something, then nothing's ever going to change.
Yes.
That's all it is. It's nobody trying to crush companies. It's not, like Earl's not trying to put Arrma out of business. That ain't what it is. He's just basically more on your guys' side saying, hey,
if you get the fire team or you get the Vendetta, before you go out and try to run 70, just give those wheels a little bit of a spin. Check it out. Check those screws. Those screws.
Because the worst thing to do is, like everybody used to tell us, take an RTR, take it all apart and put it all back together so you know it's done right. I'd never do that.
No. A
Just never do
general
that.
quick little check like what you have done and I have done. Quick little check of just a couple screws. That's about it. And even then, I don't always do that. But
no,
you gotta because, you know, there's some 7 or 8 year old kid, you know, putting these things together on an assembly line. I'm just only saying that as a joke, but it's an assembly line. It's their job to just put A into B. That's it. And then it moves on to potentially the next person. That's why I said I'd love at some point for somebody to actually be able to get into one of those factories to see what really goes on. And then your eyes might be open.
And a lot of people say there are defects, and there are, and I believe there are, but when you get, you know, 300 boxes to where you got, you know, 100 YouTubers saying, hey, my motor mount broke. Hey, my motor came loose. Hey, my bearing failed here on the motor. When you get a whole group of saying the same part is failing, it's no longer a defect, it's a problem.
Yep.
And that's all we try to make people aware of.
Yeah,
and hopefully this 3 and 4 or this 4S line is going to be awesome. We don't have any of these issues with that we had off the old 4S line.
Yep. Yep. That would definitely, yeah. I'm really hoping, and it's all these companies learning lessons too. It's not just us. It's the companies also hopefully learning, you know, to make those little changes to make it just that much better
before they drop it. And that's why I'm hoping it took them 3 years to do this, is because they were fighting issues.
I hope,
and so. Hopefully they're all resolved.
I hope. Yep.
Pray.
All right, everybody. So we got Joe Mama, Paul Clancy, Frank Sluga, Mike Gregory. I almost called you Jeggery. Jeremy. We got, let's see, Super Drake, Black Sheep, Michael, Robert Shaw, Mia Depth. What's going on, man? Kevin B, Nearsighted Time Traveler, 423 RC, Paul Fletcher. Ton of people came in here. Hopefully, if you aren't, again, I'll just put the plug in here. If you're not subscribed to either of our channels, if this is your first time seeing it, we obviously both have separate channels. He's Earl Moorhead. I'm RC Guy Garage. And we're just literally out here to just bring the slightest amount of awareness, but more just to have fun. Just to share this hobby, share the experiences, share the repairs, share just everything about, and both of our channels do different things. You're not always going to only see RC content. He's got BMWs that he's done some maintenance repairs on. He actually did a whole thing on how to properly polish and wax and clean your cars. And that goes into, believe it or not, some of the products that he uses on automotive, he uses on his RCs. And that's actually something that I should be doing, is some of your 3D products are really good. It seems to be a really good product to use, especially what's it that you use a dry wash and then you use that protectant. What's that protectant called?
That Final Touch?
Final Touch, right.
Yep.
That's the stuff that you spray over your entire RC. And I'm telling you right now, go watch a couple of his videos. Just about every RC he owns looks like it just came out of the box, maybe with a couple of box scratches on it. That's about it.
Yep.
Because he keeps things clean. Yep.
All right. Appreciate everybody for stopping in. Give it that thumbs up on the way out.
All right, everybody. We're going to end this right here. We'll talk to you guys later.